Hello everybody, welcome back to the Daily Cooking Stream, the Daily Cooking Show. I hope you're all having a beautiful Friday. If you're watching this live, it is currently 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're watching this back at a later date, hello. It's good to see you too. Welcome on in everybody. Hope you're all having a beautiful Friday today. Chat, talk to me for a second. How are we doing today? Anything exciting going on in everybody's lives? I see that we have Baconator. I see that we have Jack. I see that we have Dr. Slowbro, Mrock. Also, Momo on the mic. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. I hope you're doing well, Momo. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. Welcome on in, everybody. I'm pretty excited about today's stream. We're going to be doing something I don't really do at home, but I felt like would be the best way to repurpose kind of what I have in the fridge. Also, welcome on in, Zio the Meek. Welcome in. So, my friends. Also, welcome on in to Looking for Kingdom, Aleph Kingdom. Hello, hello. So, everybody, here's what's going to be happening today. As the title may suggest, we'll be doing some quesadillas today. And the reason why we're doing quesadillas is because from the last stream that we did, which was on Wednesday, we made a couple of things. Specifically, we made a big, beautiful pint or quart of these black beans. And these black beans are super, super delicious. They're already seasoned. They already have plenty of chorizo inside. They have some onion. They have some garlic. They have some bouillon. These are really delicious beans. And so, I had that, and I also had some of the leftover Carne Asada. I had some of the leftover steak. And so I felt like the best thing to do would be to marry those two in a lovely little quesadilla. And so we're going to repurpose these ingredients and really transform them. And this really speaks to my favorite way to cook at home. You are not a restaurant. The kinds of things that you cook at home should either A, be really easy to reheat, or B, should really easily transform into something else. In the case of the beans, you can eat them as is, you can reheat them, or you can transform them into refried beans, which is a bit of a misnomer. Right? It's not really fried again, it's just sort of cooked again and then mashed up, and then we add some more spices and onions to it, just to give it a little bit more pop. Right? The steak itself, the carne asada, I cooked up the rest of it. We're going to slice it up nice and thin. We're going to mix it up with the cheese. It's going to be stuffed into the quesadilla. We'll be doing two other things as well. We'll be doing a nice little cabbage salad because we are in the winter and thus cabbage is very good at the moment. So this, my friends, is my beautiful purple little cabbage right here. This little guy. So, red cabbage, purple cabbage, I see it just being used interchangeably. So it's going to get sliced up. We're going to make a lovely salad. I'm going to show you how to do that because I felt like with the quesadilla, it's like a lot of meat, it's a lot of cheese, it gets fried in a little bit of oil. I wanted something really nice and fresh and crispy with it. And to me personally, and maybe this is my sort of like Taco Bell conditioning that kind of went into this in my preferences. With a quesadilla, I cannot have it without some sort of sour cream to dip it in or sour cream on top. And we're going to be doing something that I don't think is particularly traditional. We'll be doing like a jalapeno cream, right? Like a jalapeno crema. So we'll chug some jalapenos, we'll blend it down, we'll add some lime juice, we'll add some cilantro as well, and we'll mix it in with some crema mexicana that I picked up. And so that's going to make like a nice little dip. You're going to have these little triangles of quesadilla and you're going to dip it on in, and I think it'll be really delicious. This is not by any means super traditional, authentic Mexican cooking today. But what we are doing is we're going to still, in spite of that, give every single ingredient a lot of love, a lot of technique. We're not going to be throwing things together. Okay? And so, it's just going to be a really nice, cozy, comfy stream today. We're going to just make sure everything tastes as delicious as it can be, really transform them into something special. So let's just look at all of my ingredients. I guess I don't have a lot of raw ingredients today. We have a bunch of scallions. The scallions themselves, we're going to actually blend some up into the jalapeno cream, and a lot of it is also going to go into the salad. This is the cabbage that's going to go into the salad. We have the beans, and unfortunately, I'm not making my own flour tortillas. I associate quesadillas with using flour tortillas. I had to, unfortunately, buy some of the shitty Mission ones. I don't feel good about it. God, Mission tortillas suck. I literally went to 2 different Mexican restaurants today to ask if I can buy tortillas from them, just to see if they have any like decent like burrito-sized flour tortillas, and they wouldn't sell it to me. And thus, we're using the Mission ones, and I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it. Okay, that being said, we have 3 components. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to slice up our cabbage and we're going to salt it. Anytime that you make a cabbage salad, it is imperative that you salt it in advance because it's going to release a stupid amount of liquid, a ridiculous amount of liquid that can otherwise make your salad soggy. So we want to basically slice up the cabbage, salt it, leave it alone while we do everything else. We'll make the cream, we'll make the refried beans, and we'll have a nice cozy stream. So I guess my only question for chat is, who's ready? Who's ready? Who's ready to learn how to make some fantastic quesadillas? And I want to hear a resounding, me, chef, I suppose. I guess I should just ask you, are you ready? And that's a little bit more conducive to getting the answer that I'm looking for. I'm ready, chef? Perfect, there you go. Those are the kinds of answers that are pouring in now. Lovely. Okie dokie. So also, little update. Finally got my knife sharpened. All right, this is my knife store corner in New York City, in Manhattan. Finally got these bad boys sharpened again. So these are now back in the rotation of the knives I'm using. Really, really sharp, really beautiful stuff. Right, this is my Corn petty knife. And then this is my Mizuno UX10. I miss this bad boy so much. I love this knife. I love this knife to death. And also, everybody, especially because today is going to be a bit of a chill stream, if you have any questions whatsoever, if you have anything that you want to ask me, any cooking questions, any technical questions, I am here to help you out. I'm here to help you out, and I'm here to answer anything that you might like. So drop something in chat. I want to show off my ability to feature chat as well a little bit more. And now let's begin. So the first thing that we have to do is begin the cabbage salad. So let's get that going right now. So my cutting board is already prepped. Everybody, as usual, whenever you are cutting something and you don't say you have like a big butcher block, or if it doesn't have like the rubbery things to keep it in place, I always keep a nice damp, if not wet paper towel under my cutting board so it doesn't slip away, right? So it stays nice and flat. Also, welcome on in, Banner 2K. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. Okay, this is how I keep my cutting board nice and flat, nice and stable, especially on a smooth stainless steel surface. Next step, I am going to glove up because my poor little hands cannot handle all of the moisture and the acidity of the kitchen. You just ate an entire rotisserie chicken, lethargic monkey. I'm happy for you. That sounds incredible. Also, hello, your ears perked up. I'm so happy to see everybody. Okay, so everybody, also, this is happening at 5 p.m. Eastern time. I want to know, how do you all feel about this stream time? How are you feeling about it? I'm playing around with it a little bit more. I want to accommodate my European audience a little bit. Okay, let me know. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. So this is my Mizuno UX10. This is going to be the main driver of today. And this, my friends, is my beautiful cabbage. And so I want to slice it nice and thin. I wanted a really, really light, really refreshing salad for today. Okay? And so you basically want something that's 1.5 times the volume of the cabbage, because when it's in its raw state, it takes up so much volume, but you're gonna see, as soon as we salt it, it's going to basically shrink to half. Okay? Here's what we're gonna do, my friends. First step, we're just going to take the whole thing and slice it right down the middle. We'll chop it, I guess. Slice it right down the middle, and we can set aside one of these halves. Okay? And now the question is, do we want to slice it, I guess, like this? Do we want to cut it into quarters? That is a decision to be really made at the moment. And honestly, I think I'm not going to overthink this. I think all that I'm going to do is just kind of go at it as it is. Now, the only thing that is kind of important, you see all of this? This is the core of the cabbage. I am keeping this intentionally intact. If you were to take this out right now and cut out the core of the cabbage, the whole thing is going to fall apart. So it's very, very functional. It's going to keep it together as we slice into it. So first thing, I'm just going to cut off the bottommost core, not the rest of this. We're not making any diagonal incisions or anything. And by the way, you might want to wear gloves because this can indeed stain your hands and your cutting board a little bit red, right? And the reason I picked red cabbage is because it looked really cute. It was nice and cheap at the store today too. So, nice long slices. We're not chopping. We're just slicing up this cabbage really, really thin, okay? And all of this is also going to shrink down once we do salt it. Use the full length of the knife. And once again, if you have any questions whatsoever, I implore you to ask them. Right? Look at these beautiful slices. Guys, I missed having this knife so much. Scrape it up, throw it into the bowl. Just to make sure we're keeping our station nice and clean. And we can continue with the process. Ooh, maybe a little too thick though. It's a salad, right? You want to keep it very light. Yeah, it's going to naturally fall apart into shreds. So don't worry about really cutting it in half or anything. Okay? Again, this is a fairly small cutting board. So I'm just going ahead and getting in there and scraping it all up with these beautiful shreds of cabbage. How much did that knife cost? Upwards of $200, Shaq. It's a very nice knife. I love cabbage so much. Okay. This is actually going to require a couple of like sawing motions because it is just that thick of a cabbage. Look at that. Come back here. Do I know any good parsnip recipes? Rabbit raisins, that's a beautiful question. So, you've asked me, know any good parsnip recipes? I feel like, especially with the way that I grew up in like an Eastern European household, the idea of eating parsnips, or rather like the parsley rhizome, I don't think it's the root technically, I think it's just the rhizome. It would only be used for stocks. We would only use it for stocks and to put into broths and stuff. But what I really like doing is having like a 50-50 ratio of parsnips to carrots and then sort of cooking them alongside each other, right? So I'd kind of blanch the carrots and the parsnips a little bit together, and then I'd throw it into like a super hot oven and roast it with like a bunch of oil, and then maybe finish it with some herbs and spices. So I would roast them like you would do carrots. Or you could do like a parsnip puree. Those are also really nice. But I really love like just like super rustic, super classic, very like traditional roasted parsnips. Okay, so we're now hitting the point where we're getting to the top of the quarter. And now this is the point where we just start changing up the angle so that we don't cut any of like that super tough cabbage that's near the quarter. Okay, we just want to avoid all of this. Right, just going all the way down, my friends. Right, and then we're just gonna go ahead and flip this around to the other side. And again, there's no wrong way to do this. This is just sliced cabbage, okay? Only thing is you just don't wanna make them too thick. But again, it is going to wilt down a whole bunch as soon as we salt it. Okay, and then this is now mostly the core of the cabbage. You can trim this up if you'd like to go through that effort. I don't think it's particularly worth it because it is indeed a cabbage. This is just about the cheapest vegetable that you can find. Jack, I have no idea what you're asking me. Okay, and now I'm trying to think, do I even want to use that entire head of cabbage? I think I'm gonna make an entire head's worth of cabbage because this is the kind of a salad that I just love having in the fridge, right? Styles Ace, I have no idea what you just said to me, also welcome on in. Yes, so these kinds of like cabbage salads, they're just lovely to have. They just hold super well. And I think it's just gonna pair really nicely with today's quesadilla. Because we just need that freshness, right? It's gonna be cheesy, it's gonna have the refried beans in it, it's gonna have some meat in it, and it's gonna be a whole lot. Okay. So yeah, I've decided we're gonna use the entire head of cabbage here. Nice and thin. All the way through. Okay. Good on pupusas too. That's right. Oh, I love pupusas. I haven't had a pupusa in so long. My slicing is getting a little thick here. I'm rushing this process a tiny bit. And again, I'm cleaning my cutting board often. If I had a really, really huge cutting board, I wouldn't need to do this as much. But the last thing that I want is like for stuff like this to happen, for stuff to fall off my cutting board, because then it just makes a mess all over my table, right? So, we're getting there, we're getting there. I need to really slice more. Okay. Yeah, I was not aware of that spice mix at all. I never heard of it before. Okay. A couple more slices all the way through, my friends. Okay. And now we basically hit the core again. So all we're going to do, oh wait, actually I'm going the wrong way. Slice it up diagonally like this. A little bit more. And then that's all the prep that we really need to do for the cabbage salad, and we can do the other components later on. This is the most important step that we have to get done ahead of time, because we want to salt it. So, Styles asked me, how often do you sharpen your knives? And that's a very good question. And the reason that's a good question is because this is really dependent on the kind of knives that you have. Okay, wait, there we go. I just want to show you a question. There you go. You've asked me, how often do I sharpen my knives? It really depends on the knives that you have. For example, if you have a softer steel knife, so a lot of the cheaper stainless steel knives, they tend to be fairly softer. They get dull faster. And if you have one of those like really, really cheap ones, you're gonna have to sharpen it, like let's say with even like a pull-through sharpener once a week. In this case, I don't actually know the specific hardness and the grade of the steel that I have for this Mizuno UX10. I would probably, and I should probably get these professionally sharpened once every 2 to 3 months with how often I use these. And these are a pretty hard steel, is my understanding. But the softer your steel is, the more often you're gonna need to sharpen it. The harder it is, the more prone to chipping it is. But the less that you need to actually sharpen it. So the answer is, this I get sharpened usually, or try to once every 3 months or so. But it's actually gonna be completely dependent on the kind of knives that you have. Okay, so guess what? We got through an entire head of cabbage just now. We needed to get this step done in advance. Delicious. Okay. So take a look, my friends. Also, welcome on in to McNasty. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. This is an entire head of cabbage. You see all this cabbage? All of this is going to break down. All of this is going to get a whole bunch smaller, and it's going to basically reduce 50% in volume, and it's going to lose a lot of water weight. If you were to go ahead and try to make a salad with this cabbage right now, you put your dressing in, you leave it in the fridge for an hour, it's going to be swimming in liquid. Swimming. That is not even an understatement. So here's what you have to do. This step is not negotiable. Unless you're garnishing something with fresh cabbage immediately, I want to see you always do this. Is that clear? Let me get a resounding yes, chef. Styles Ace, I think you're new here. I want to hear a yes, chef from you as well. Okay, nice big pinch. Kosher salt, so I can easily pick it up with my fingers. Okay, grab it in there. And again, you're gonna want a lot of salt. There's a lot of cabbage, and also don't forget a lot of that salt is actually going to dissipate in the liquid. So, and now my friends, I should have done this in a slightly bigger bowl so I can easily get in there. We're going to take the cabbage, we're going to mix it, and we're going to basically crush it with our hands a little bit too. Get all the way in there. Toss it around. I should have done this in a bigger bowl, but now it's a little too late. It's going to get easier to mix once it reduces a little too. And we'll do another pinch of salt. Come on, pick it up from the bottom, put it on top, press it down. Okay? You want to really, really, truly work and break down this cabbage. We're going to taste one of these. Too salty. But I promise you, all of that salty liquid is going to dissipate. Okay? A lot of it is on the outside of the cabbage at the moment. It's going to perfectly season our shreds. Okay. Keep going. Keep going. You really want to evenly mix this through. If you think you've mixed it enough, you haven't. Just keep it going. And this would be easier to do this in a big bowl. Yes, I am, Styles. I'm trying to draw out the moisture of the cabbage. This is going to be a process that takes about an hour. So it's the first thing that I do, so that later on, all we have to do is strain it. And I do this with cucumbers. I do this with tomatoes, although I don't really crush them when I'm doing cucumbers and tomatoes. But anytime I'm doing a salad, you have to be mindful of the amount of moisture that you have going into something. Remember, moisture is the enemy of cooking in so many different ways. It can make things bland, it can make things taste diluted, okay? It can make things soggy. And you can already see the cabbage is beginning to sweat. You can already see how wet my gloves are. And that's all from the salt already. So you can imagine how wet this is going to be later down the line. Okay, almost done tossing this cabbage together. It's getting a lot softer, okay, and a lot easier to do this. And by the way, especially because of the fact that we're breaking this down and smushing it with salt, this is the part that you really want gloves or at least a spoon for, unless you don't care about having purple hands. Okay, taste. Yep, salty, delicious cabbage. So will this be coleslaw or something else, asks Styles? And the answer is, this is going to, I mean, what coleslaw refers to, at least American coleslaw, is going to be like mayonnaise, and then, you know, people do some carrots. We're not doing any of that. This is basically just going to be a Mexican cabbage salad. So we're going to have some lime juice, we're going to have some cilantro, we're going to have some onions, and we're going to have a little bit of olive oil as well going into this. So I wanted something very nice and light and refreshing and crispy for the cabbage salad. Okay, this, my friends, is done. We've done exactly what we've needed to. So is it a coleslaw? No, but what people do is they just call any cabbage salad a slaw, right? So this is a red cabbage Mexican slaw or something, if I was writing this like I was a shitty Food Network chef or something. That's how I would write it out. Okay, that's done. I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside. I'm gonna set it aside behind me. You can put this in the fridge, you don't have to, it doesn't really matter. And now the only thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to clean up my station. It's very nice to have a bench scraper, one of these bad boys. And into the waste bowl it goes. And then we're also gonna get a paper towel to wipe down my station and make sure that I'm keeping everything really nice and clean. But yes, I love doing cabbage salads, my friends. I love it. Cabbage is so cheap and so much better in my mind than something like lettuce. I am a very avid lettuce hater. I'm an avid leafy green hater. Well, specifically lettuces, not all leafy greens. Like, I love kale, I like spinach sometimes, but I do not like lettuce. I don't like how quickly lettuce spoils. I don't like lettuce's lack of nutritional value. I don't like lettuce's cost relative to its nutritional value and what it actually provides in a dish. And I hate how lettuce gets soggy. To me, the taste of cabbage, the crunch of cabbage, is actually just superior and can't be beat. It just cannot be beat. In this case, right? So I almost never will cook with lettuce. I will never cook with lettuce. It is almost purely texturally. Am I gonna add orange zest to the cabbage with the lime juice? No, but I am gonna have some lime zest going. We're gonna have a little bit of lime zest to give it a little bit of that extra oomph, right? That's a good question, but no orange zest. I have limes on hand, I'm gonna use limes. Okay, so everybody, little recap. Let's have a little recap. All that we did just now, really, really simple. We just sliced up the cabbage, okay? All we did was we sliced up the cabbage. And we needed to do that in advance so that we get to release all the extra water from it. We salted it, beautiful. Also, Dirt McNasty asks, what is the best Christmas gift? So, actually, even though it's not totally related to cooking, I have a very good answer for you. The best Christmas gift is either A, something that somebody wants, B, something that is completely unique, that you will not be able to get anywhere else. Like, this is not something that you can buy on Amazon. Or C, nothing at all, and just give them some attention. The worst thing that you can do for somebody is get them something that they don't want or don't need, or that they asked you not to get for them. And so, if I'm giving somebody a gift, and it's somebody I care about enough to give a gift to, it would be one of those things, right? I'd either want something like very, very special or something I know that they need. Okay, I know I have to be super confident today. You can also just ask. You can ask, hi, I want to do something nice for you. Is there anything that you're looking for if you don't want to get them something custom? That's my advice there. And the best Christmas gift for me is to go on my Throne page and buy me a blender. Okay, that's enough shilling. That's enough of that. Next up, we got to do the refried beans. We have to do the refried beans now because I wanted it to cool down. I don't want it to be super, super hot. What we're going to do is we're going to mix up the filling. We're going to mix up the shredded cheese. We're going to mix up the chopped up steak, the Carne Asada, right? And we're going to mix up the refried beans all together. And if our refried beans are too hot, we're going to preemptively melt the cheese, and it's going to make it very difficult to stuff the quesadilla. I really like to have all of my ingredients already assembled and mixed together when I'm building a quesadilla, because if you try to layer it individually in the tortilla itself, you're going to get spots where you're missing this thing, you're missing that thing. So in a separate bowl, we're going to mix the refried beans, we're going to mix the steak, we're going to mix in some cilantro, the cheese. It's going to be really, really special. Okay, is a gift card of $12 a good present, asks Ducky Strange. Yeah, fantastic. Listen, money, you can't go wrong with money. Okay, so now we have to think about the refried beans. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the thing that I always do, which is toast up some fresh spices. We're going to have some cumin. We're going to have some coriander seeds, just to be able to give the beans a little bit extra life. And I never, ever use pre-ground spices. Right? At home, as often as I can, I try to use whole spices. So we have some whole coriander. We have some whole cumin seeds right here. And we're just going to toast these up. We're going to grind it in a mortar and pestle. So let's begin that now. Let's head on over to the stove, my friends. Welcome to the stove dimension. Huzzah. Okay, I guess we can toast it in this. It doesn't really matter what vessel you're toasting it in. You know what, that pan is a little too thick. It's gonna take a while. So I'd like to use this little guy right here, this cute little pan, to toast up my spices. Everybody, if you are capable of it, I really, really strongly recommend that you get into the habit of toasting whole spices, okay? And grinding it up yourself. They're so much less volatile when they're in their whole seed form. and they have so much more flavor compared to their pre-ground stuff. They have that much more shelf life. So, nice big pinch of cumin seeds. Can't go wrong with cumin. And this is all for the beans, my friends. So, Gabbit Raisins asked me how not to burn them. And the answer is, you want to keep them constantly moving, right? So look what I'm doing. Even though I'm going on like a pretty generous heat, we're leaving it, we're moving it, we're leaving it, we're moving it. Because think about the texture of a seed. Think about the texture of something really round on the bottom of the pan, okay? This isn't something like a steak, it's not flat, right? It's a smooth circular object on a flat plane. If you leave it on one side, you're going to just burn the tiniest bit of it without actually thoroughly toasting all of it. So, in order to thoroughly toast all of it, it has to basically be semi-constantly in motion. You keep it in motion, and then you know when to stop? When the smell like really starts hitting you, or you start seeing some wisps of smoke. Now, if you were to fry these spices in some oil, it would be different, because the oil is the medium that is evenly distributing heat to every single side of the spice. It's not on a flat plane. The oil goes around the spice, and in that case, you would just kind of stir it around, but you wouldn't need to constantly shake it like this, which is what I'm doing now. And so we're looking for the slightest wisps of smoke. Munha asks, Chef, what do you like to cook for the holiday season? It's a good question. So I'm Jewish. I never really grew up celebrating Christmas or anything. I only did once with like an ex of mine. But growing up, I would be the guy once I started to get a little bit older, once I was like around 13 or 14, in a Russian Jewish family. We would do a lot of New Year's dinners, right? Because we'd kind of basically treat New Year's like Christmas. We would give gifts at midnight on New Year's, and I would make the best roasted duck. I would make the best roasted potatoes. I'd make this excellent French onion cream spinach, which I did on my birthday stream. So I can get festive with it. I just don't love doing that kind of food typically, because it's not what I consider a home food. What I'm trying to teach you guys is how to make things adaptable in a home kitchen, but holiday stuff is where it gets a little special. Okay. So my friends, we got some slight wisps. Oh, that word is so difficult for me. Wisps of smoke. And now, we're gonna go ahead and just throw these into a pan, into a little mortar and pestle rather. Toss these bad boys in. Okay? And guys, you've seen me do this a million times. You saw me do this on Wednesday, but we're doing it again today. Okay? So all that we need to do is go in there, we gotta crush up these spices. First step is the mashing phase. If you immediately start rotating, your spices are gonna jump out of the container. So first step, just crush them. Crush all the coriander specifically. Crush it all, my friends. I wanna crush those fillers. In fact, you know what? You guys can watch more of me. Huzzah. Because you don't need that much of a close-up on the mortar and pestle, I think. Okay, then, once we're done with the crushing stage, make sure you have no intact coriander. Then you just grind it up, nice and easy. In fact, we're also gonna do a pinch of oregano. That's what I love, cumin, coriander, oregano. Some of my favorite spices, classic in Mexican cooking. I don't have any Mexican oregano, regular dried oregano will do just fine. A couple of pinches of that. And now we're just rotating, my friends. We're just rotating. We're using the abrasion. We're using the naturally coarse sides of the mortar and pestle. This would not work if you had a wooden mortar and pestle. The olive wood ones, right? Those are the ones that the Italians use to typically make like a pesto. I don't think it would really work too well on that. So it has to either be like a molcajete, or in this case, this is like a stone one that I got from IKEA about 10 years ago. And I keep it dry, so I never really have to wash it. All I do is I just wipe it down, right? I'm not making salsas in this. I'm not doing any garlic. I'm not doing anything wet, right? Give it a little shake, shake, shake. And you want to grind this all into a nice fine powder, my friends. And you can smell how lovely and toasted that is. You can smell the cumin, you can smell the coriander. I'm telling you, whole dried spices is where the love is, and it is so easy to do at home. And it's fun too. Do you understand how powerful of a feeling it is to hold big heavy stone object and hit another stone object with it? It is in our blood to take pleasure from doing that. It's why men love like pounding in nails, I would imagine, right? That's why they take a hammer and they're like, yeah, this is great. Woo, woodworking, carpentry. It's the same thing. It's all the same thing, my friends. Big stone object. No technology to be found. I love hitting heavy things with heavy object. All right. Anyhow. Sorry for the philosophical rant here about the origin of us grinding spices. We're almost done here. We just want to get rid of any threads of the coriander and the cumin that might be remaining. Grind it all up into a lovely little powder, my friends. And this is all going to go into the refried beans. And the refried beans, again, I want to clarify, they're not actually ever really fried. I like doing some extra onions in mine just to give it a little bit of extra sweetness. But refried beans are basically just reheated beans that then get kind of mashed down. And then you add like a bunch of fat to it. So I like doing mine with butter. But ideally, you would use animal fat. So if you have some lard on hand. But let me tell you, my favorite kind of refried beans are the ones that I make with either like chorizo or to do those with bacon. I cook up a bunch of bacon, I get that bacon fat, I fry the onions, and then I put the beans in and mash it up. It's amazing. It's the best. All right. Okay. This is all done, my friends. I'm going to go ahead and transfer this out into a different vessel, just to make life a little bit easier for myself. I do have some sheep jerky. Oh, Moonha, that sounds delicious. Sheep isn't really commonly eaten here. In fact, we don't even really eat goat. All we really do is eat lamb. And I forgot about all of the differences between sheep, goat, lamb. I'm actually, mutton, I'm not really entirely sure on what the differences are. I did forget. But one of my favorite steaks that I've had, or rather, bits of sheep that I had, was a mutton chop. I had a beautiful, and I've had like curried goat and stuff, right? I've had like a really, really beautiful mutton chop. I believe that was at Keen's Steakhouse in Manhattan. It's like kind of a dish that they're quite known for. And nobody really does mutton chops anymore, right? It's kind of a, it's a fairly like historical dish at this point. But I love mutton. Mutton and sheep and lamb. Lamb overall is not too popular here in the United States. And the only kind of lamb that we really have has almost no flavor whatsoever. It feels very like sterile. Right? We have like a lot of like this grain-fed lamb that is basically in many ways, indistinguishable from beef, right? Because we're so terrified of the gamey flavors here. But let me tell you, like when it's especially like stewed down for quite some time, it's the best. It gets really, really lost in like all the spices and the sauces. But I'm very lucky that I grew up with a lot of Uzbekistani restaurants around me. I don't know if it's Uzbeki or Uzbekistani. Regardless, there's a lot of like Uzbeki restaurants around me. And plenty of lamb, of course, and it's just the best. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. But yes, the character of lamb is just so delicious. It's just not considered very preferable on the American palate. And thus a lot of our lamb is pretty tasteless. Okay, so my friends, what did we just do? We toast up the spices. This is the cumin, this is the coriander, and the oregano. Beautiful. Smells amazing. Also, I just got to ask one of my favorite questions. Ducky, I'm so happy that you asked me this. Ducky asks me, what area do you cook from? And this is a beautiful question. So the answer is this. Technically, the food I make, it's basically all over. What I do is I make home food. I look at what is available around me, what kind of cuisines and stores are available around me, what kind of food that they sell, and then try to adapt it. Specifically, technique-wise, I take a lot of inspiration from Mexican cooking because Mexican food is just some of my favorites in regards to how we're using the spices, in regards to how we use chilies. I take a lot of inspiration from Mexican cooking. But what I really do is I do, in a way, local food, but it's not local like in the like a fine dining sense of like, oh, all these vegetables grew outside. I make things with the things that look good around me because I have a lot of very small supermarkets around me that represent like different ethnic groups, right? So I have like really nice Russian supermarkets around me. I grew up Russian. We have a lot of really nice Chinese supermarkets. We have a really nice Vietnamese owned one as well. We have a South Indian one near me. And so as a result, I am able to just sort of do all of those different cuisines because that is what is just around me, right? So what area do I cook from? The answer is whatever is available to me. But I take a lot of technique inspiration from Mexican cooking. Okay, this is the spice powder that we made. This is going to be for the refried beans later on, my friends. And now we have to actually talk about the refried beans and what's going to go in them. I want two things. I want some garlic and I want some onions. Okay? And I'm trying to think. I have a red onion, I have a yellow onion. It doesn't particularly matter. I was going to mostly use the red onion for the salad, I think. Yeah, we don't need a lot of onion. We don't need a crazy amount of onion. It can make the refried beans a little bit too sweet. Okay? Sorry I'm late. What are we cooking tonight? No reason to be sorry, dog cry. We're making some quesadillas stuffed with carne asada, stuffed with refried beans and some cheese that I have. And we're making a cabbage salad as well as a jalapeno crema. And as a little recap, all we did was we toasted spices and we salted the cabbage. So we barely got started. And now we're working on the refried beans. So here's what we're gonna need. We are gonna need maybe like 3/4 of a small onion. Okay, nothing crazy. I'm gonna glove up yet again. And again, you don't want too much onion in this. It can, you'll really risk making it like way too sweet if you do. Okay? So we're gonna glove up and we're going to use this onion in two ways. So a small chunk of it is actually gonna go into the jalapeno crema because it's going to be blended up. It's basically like a salsa mixed in with some sour cream. Not traditional at all, but I really want that sour cream element for my quesadillas today. So here's what we do. We cut off the top, the head of the onion. Off it all goes. Flip it over. Also, thank you so much, Ducky Strange, for the sub. Very sweet of you. Also, is this your first stream, Ducky? Where'd you come from? Like, how'd you find this channel? So, cut it in half just like this. Then we're just gonna take a second to peel up these onions now that it's halved. What's your stream schedule so I don't miss? Excellent question. We are actually launching a new holiday schedule starting today for the next couple of weeks. It's going to go into effect. That is going to be posted, well, you can actually just go to my schedule on Twitch. The times might change around a little bit, or after the stream is done, it's going to be my offline screen. But just go to the schedule section, the schedule tab on Twitch. Otherwise, the next stream coming up is gonna be this Sunday at 12. When we get out of the holiday season, I stream every single Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. But right now, we're doing some special stuff. So we're gonna have 3 back-to-back streams at some point. We're gonna have the Christmas Eve stream, which is the Sunday. Okay. These are fairly small onions. That's good. You know what, maybe only half an onion. So this bad boy right here, this is gonna be used for the crema. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that aside. This is the other onion piece. And now, my friends, we want a very nice small dice. The structure of which you cut an onion, I think is actually really, really important. Okay? This is not one of those things that you can roughly cut up. And the reason for this is because if your chunks of onion are too big, you're going to basically bite into whole chunks of onion that don't really contribute into the refried beans. But if you cut it too small, they're all essentially going to disappear, not lend themselves to anything texturally. Okay, and they might make it a little bit too sweet. So the size of which you cut an allium is actually really important. So I want to still have a little bit of bite to my onion, but I want it to impart a good amount of sweetness. So thus, we're doing a small to medium dice. Small to medium dice, not a mince, a small to medium dice. So here's how I always start, my friends. First step, we're making incisions all the way through the onion. We're keeping it attached at the root end. So what we're basically doing is we're fanning out. Oop, I accidentally cut through too much. Oh no. Do as I say and not as I do. I made a mistake. We're cutting through to the root of the onion. Oh, just before the root of the onion, excuse me. Right, so that it stays together. And then, all we have to do, I'm gonna stance up through this. We're just gonna slice it into some nice, small, medium-sized cubes. This is what I call a small, medium-sized cube. I don't have any measurements. I don't know if this is a brunoise or anything. I don't know. Roughly, a small to medium cube. The smaller you make it, the more it's going to melt in, the less you're going to feel it texturally, and the sweeter it's going to make everything. The bigger you make it, the less sweet it's going to be, and the more you actually bite into it. So understand that balance and think about what you want. If you want a sweeter refried beans, then cut these up smaller. Just add more onion. If you want big pieces of onion in it for some reason, make them big. That is actually entirely up to you. You just have to know your own intention. In my case, this is what I want. I want the slight sweetness, and I want a very slight bite. So, that's all done. Just gathering up any little pieces that I might have missed. And we're gonna go ahead and throw that on over into a little bowl. And so in total, we have 3 components that we need to make here, right? We have to make the refried beans, we have to make the crema, we have to make the salad, and I'm just gonna get everything done right now. The refried beans we wanna get done ahead of time because we want it to cool down enough. We want it to cool down enough that it's not gonna immediately melt the cheese when we start mixing stuff in. Okay, there you go, my friends. That's an onion, it's in a transfer bowl, and now let's head on over to the stove. Let's begin the process of the refried beans. We're gonna want any type of fat that which you desire. Anything you want. Think about it. Get creative here. I love using bacon. If you have bacon, make some bacon refried beans. Make it with chorizo fat or something. In this case, I don't have any of those things available to me at the moment. I'm actually just going to do a little bit of regular oil. My beans already have chorizo in them. They already have plenty of chorizo in them. Okay? So, as a result, I'm just going to do a little bit of neutral oil. In this case, a little splash of peanut oil. We might add some butter later on if we feel like it's fit. And yeah, you just want enough that you can gently fry up your onions. We're gonna do nice medium-high heat. Get that nice and hot, my friends. Get it all nice and hot. Okay, and the other little bit of prep that we need to do, of course, is I'm gonna want some garlic. So let's get that started right now simultaneously. Head back on over to the cutting board, my friends. Okay, cutting board, we're just gonna clean this up for a second. Get all this stuff off of it. Now, let's get some garlic done. And as usual, as always, you know what I hate most? You know what I hate? I hate having to chop garlic on a cutting board. And so, we'll just be using a garlic press. The refried beans, rather the pot of beans that I already have ahead of time, they have a little bit of garlic in them, but it was just kind of boiled garlic. This garlic clove is already peeled. I'm gonna go ahead and press that in half, smash it down. Skin comes off nice and easy. Okay, this garlic clove's a little spoiled. So we're gonna have to just trim this up a little bit. Get rid of all those nasty parts on it. Okay, now that is a fairly respectable looking clove. We're gonna cut off the butt end, the ass end of my garlic. And let's go get my favorite tool ready. Let's go get the garlic press. Again, I don't wanna go crazy with the amount of garlic because we already have garlic in this dish. This is just enough that we get a little bit more of that fried, delicious garlic flavor. You can't really have too much garlic, okay? Welcome on in, ask yourself, how are you doing today? So, and once again, if you have any questions, that's a beautiful question. Ducky, I'm loving all these questions you're giving me. What is your favorite thing to cook if you're short on time? Let me tell you, if I'm short on time and short on ingredients both, what I'm always doing, oh shit. This didn't fully clean, did it? Oh no. Guys, my garlic press is dirty. I'm not washing it right now. Oh no. I'm gonna have to slice this up manually. It's over. The dream is dead. Okay. So, my favorite thing to cook when I'm short on time is rice bowls. Wash up rice immediately. Get it going. Wash it, right? A little bit of water on top. 20 minutes. Bring it to a boil, drop to a simmer. In the meantime, I'm frying up 2 eggs and I'm getting my condiments out. Scallions, laugan moss, sesame oil, soy sauce, a little bit of MSG. Do I need a rice cooker? Nope, I make perfect stovetop rice. Watch any of my other videos where I make rice. I did some last time and you'll see how I make perfect rice every single time. Nobody needs a rice cooker unless they want one for their lifestyle. Okay, I'm gonna use my petty knife for this because it's nice and small and cute. Okay, makes my life a lot easier here. Grab it, and we're just gonna first start by slicing up this onion, or this garlic clove. Slice it up nice and thin. I hate having to chop garlic because of how sticky it gets. It's very uncomfortable to slice. I love my garlic press, but it's dirty. I'm very annoyed. I didn't fully clean. Okay, now that you have it sliced like this, you're gonna gather it up again, my friends. Scrape it off, and then same exact deal, you're just gonna go through this as many times as it takes for you to get the slice and dice that you want. Yes, clean as you go, absolutely. I thought I cleaned it out, but it just didn't get everything out inside. Okay, we're just gonna gather this up and we're going to do this as many times as it takes for us to get some finely minced garlic. Okay, I don't like doing that rock chop shit. I don't like doing this. It's kind of bad form, it's bad for your knife. It doesn't even consistently get things. Ugh. Oh, I'm so annoyed. Okay. We're almost done. I'm gonna just pass this through a few times. You see how it sticks to your hands? Guys, I love a garlic press. Okay. Okay, that should now just be good enough. Get it off my gloves, get it out of my cutting board. You have no place here. Using my bench scraper once again, pop it on, get it off my fingers. Okay, and now, by now, my friends, my oil should be nice and hot. You don't want like smoking hot oil. And don't guys, my family, you can use the pre-minced garlic. I just don't like it because it's wasteful and it feels unnecessary for me in my kitchen. Okay. Gonna have a sip of water. Guys, you don't necessarily need like a burning hot pan for this. You just want it hot enough that you can really fry up those onions. My oil might have gotten too hot here though. It's okay. It'll cool down as soon as we add the onions, and we're gonna lower the heat slightly. Okay. Get all of it off. We're gonna hit this with some salt. Again, we're not looking to really scorch the onions, but the further you brown it, the more nutty and the sweeter the whole thing is going to be. Okay? And we're giving it a little bit of a jump start in the cooking process as well, before we add the beans. Beautiful. That's going. Oh, no. Ducky, you were 100% asked. Oh, Ducky, there's no such thing as a newbie question here. That is an excellent question that you've just asked me. So, you've asked me, what oil do I recommend for cooking? This depends on what you're making, what culture you're making something from, like where it like actually originates from, and the function and the purpose of it. So let me tell you about the oils that I keep at home. My main neutral oil, and a neutral oil meaning it can take a high heat. This oil can take a high heat. It can be used for frying, it can be used for deep frying, it can be used for sauteing. It's a plain oil. This is peanut oil. I like peanut oil a lot. You can use canola oil, you can use vegetable oil, you can use corn oil, you can do any of those. I personally really like peanut oil. I hate corn oil with a passion. I don't love vegetable oil. Canola oil is okay. I prefer peanut oil. Ooh, shit, I think these are getting a little bit too brown. Oh no, I need to start stirring these with a spoon. It's okay. Gets a little, a little too caramelized on one side, but that's okay. My heat was just too high. Happens to the best of us. Okay, otherwise, I keep olive oil handy. Oh, you don't have to apologize at all. Please, I love questions. I encourage everybody to ask these kinds of questions because it will still benefit somebody else that's watching. So I keep olive oil at hand as well, right? Anytime I'm doing something Italian or dressing a salad, or if I want the flavor of oil to go through to something. The reason I'm not doing this with olive oil is because I don't want the flavor of olive oil in these refried beans. Olive oil is not a neutral oil unless you get it refined. Like an extra virgin olive oil, it tastes like extra virgin olive oil, which can be really good in some cases and not so good in some other ones. It just depends on what you actually want. Okay, the onions are mostly fried to where I want them. Okay, and then we're gonna add in the garlic, we're gonna add in the spices, and we're gonna add in the beans that we made, and that's just gonna cook away a little bit. And then we'll mash it all up. I'm just getting everything ready for that. You really should probably keep this stirring and not leave it unattended just like I did. But it's a low enough heat now that it'll just be okay. Fry these up for another few seconds, my friends. And again, look how small these onions are, right? We'll still be able to sometimes feel them, but we want them to really melt in. How long have I been doing this cooking channel? This channel, the cooking stream, it's been happening since around July, August or so, but it's been something that I've been planning for quite some time. So still quite new, but definitely not a complete noob at it. Okay. Onions are basically where I want them. Again, they're a little bit too charred, but that's okay, it happens. We're gonna add the garlic in now. The garlic we add in after because it's very susceptible to burning. So you don't want like that burnt, acrid garlic flavor. You don't wanna cook this for too long, okay? You want to make sure you're constantly mixing it, constantly moving it around. You don't want to leave this unattended. Garlic is like a little child. Next, the spices going in. That's the cumin, that's the coriander, that's the oregano that we all toasted up. Right? Add it all in, my friends. To fry those spices in that oil for just a second. But we don't want to burn the spices and we don't want to burn the garlic. And now we're going to add some moisture, some of these cooked beans and all of that cooking broth. We're adding it in. And now, my friends, this is the start of some really special refried beans. You want to really, really mix all of this through. Mix the spices through, mix the onions through, make sure nothing is burning. And this is where it begins. And now, ideally, you would use some kind of animal fat or something. You could also finish this with some butter. Right? That would be also really good. And so, my friends, refried beans aren't actually fried beans. All it means is they're just kind of cooked again. And then we'll mash them up. And we'll get like this really delicious, thick texture out of it. Okay, so mixing all the onions through, and now we're just basically going to reheat the beans. The reason they're so thick and gloopy right now is because the bean sauce, right, all the liquid around the beans, it gets very firm when it's cold. The beans are currently cold. It's going to get quite liquidy as all of it heats up, as you can tell right now. Right, it's getting like really nice and saucy. And if we ever feel like we need some more liquid, we can always add some in if it ever feels like it's starting to squelch on the bottom. The idea is we want to be able to soften the beans even further. We want it to get it to a mashable consistency. And once it's mashable, we'll mash it up and we'll make those refried beans. So everybody, are we following along? Let's do a little recap. So, first things first. We started the work on the cabbage salad. Let's give that a little toss now. We sliced it in advance so that we could drain any of the excess liquid and really, really flatten it and reduce its volume. Okay? So let's give it a mix and I'm going to show you just how wet, you can see how wet this cabbage is becoming. Right? You can see it's already starting to pool some of that liquid on the bottom. Really beautiful stuff. Okay? Mix it around, make sure the salt is getting everywhere. And we're going to go back and set it aside and leave it alone until we're done ready to make the salad. Okay, then on the stove at the moment, we have the refried beans going. So we fried up some onions, some garlic. We toasted some fresh spices for it. And now we're just trying to soften the onions. We're trying to soften up the beans again. And then we're just going to mash it all together. You can use a spoon. You can use a potato masher. You can use whatever your little heart desires. So I can already tell you right now, this consistency, although delicious beans, and the extra seasoning really does help, we're going to add a little bit of water. Also, when it comes to bomb-ass, flavorful, nutritious salads, I make some of the best. I make like these black bean salads with like feta cheese and roasted tomatoes and spices, and it's the best. I make the best. I absolutely know how to make one of those nutritious salads. We've done that on stream once or twice. It's the kind of a salad that you can keep in your fridge for an extended amount of time too. It's my favorite kind of thing. It's easy and it's just really, really delicious. It's ideal home food. The thing I'm trying to teach everybody here is how to make the best home food possible. So everybody, don't preemptively mash it. If you preemptively mash it and you make it really, really thick, it's going to make it difficult to evaporate any of the excess liquid. It's just going to splash up. Imagine like you're making a tomato sauce. It gets so viscous that when the air bubbles, they start pushing up and they break the pressure on top, it splashes. So don't mash it until it's done. And when is it done? It doesn't really matter. All we're trying to do is just soften the beans, soften the onions. We're not really developing any more flavor at this point. So good. So good. Those fresh toasted spices are delicious. We're just going to let that go. You can go for 10 minutes. You can probably leave it to cook longer. It does not matter as long as your beans are tender. Okay? There's nothing crazy. There's nothing complex happening here with refried beans. These are not the kinds of things that you have to actually overthink in the kitchen. We thought about the flavor. We toasted the spices. We fried those onions. But the actual boiling stage of it, it does not matter, my friends. It does not. There are things in the kitchen that demand your attention, and there are things in the kitchen that you really can actually keep it that simple. And this is one of those things. Okay? Simple is okay sometimes. I like to really make things really complicated. I like to make them more elaborate than they have to be sometimes. This is not one of those times. Okay, mix it all up. Make sure that the beans on the bottom aren't squelching because the liquid tends to rise to the top, so you're gonna have to just stir this around occasionally. We're just trying to soften up those beans, and you can see it now properly bubble away. In fact, let's get some more light on this thing so you can really, really see it. Is that too reflective? Do you guys prefer it with that amount of light or less? Tell me. Okay, so here's what we have next to do. The carne asada for the filling is already cooked. We just have to shred the cheese, and we have to make the jalapeno crema. And then at the end, we're going to finish up the salad. So I guess we can get started working on the jalapeno cream. This is not particularly traditional, what I'm doing right now. Typically, you know, you'd make like a jalapeno salsa, you would blend it down, you'd boil it and all that. I'm gonna be doing that, but I'm gonna be adding some sour cream. Because for me, what I really want is that sensation of being able to dip a really nice, fresh, crispy, hot quesadilla into a little bit of that like spicy green cream. That's like really nice and thick. That is the thing that I'm envisioning, and that is the thing that I'm going to pursue. So, we have to talk about how to get that done. And we're basically going to start this like we would start a salsa. It's like watching the sun hit the water on the lake. Yeah, except it's a very, very brown lake. Okay, in fact, this only needs like a few more minutes. We're just gonna keep that heat nice and low. Nice and low. Okay, so for the jalapenos, we're going to char them. Everybody, one of the most important tastes in Mexican cooking is the char. Yes, they do. You can go ahead and go on over to the VODs channel, at @VODs, or just Daramgar on YouTube. Up to date with all of the VODs, so that's a beautiful question, Gayata UK. So my friends, the char in Mexican cooking is really, really important, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. I have these 2 jalapenos, right? And we're going to essentially just cut off the tops. We're going to keep the seeds on. I'm gonna turn on my broiler, or if you're British, or European, turn on the grill in your oven. Sorry, I won't do that again. We're gonna keep all the seeds in. I want a really, really spicy cream, okay? Just like that, we're gonna cut these in half. Okay, look at them go. Then we're gonna grab a sheet tray, and this is gonna go under the broiler. The idea is not to fully cook the jalapeno at this stage, but rather we just wanna burn the skin. We want to char the skin, okay? Then we have to also cut up some onion to go in there as well. We want to char the onion, right? So you remember this half of this onion that we set aside. We're just going to grab it. We're going to cut this just into some slightly smaller pieces and lay these out flat. The idea is we want to burn it all. We want to burn it. We want to burn it, we want to char it, and then we'll cook it down and blend it up. And that is going to give us a delicious, flavorful crema. It's going to give the whole thing a little bit of smokiness. So, I'm going to throw this under the broiler, my friends. And the other components for this are going to be a little bit of sour cream, some cilantro, some lime juice. It's all going to get blended up. It's going to be really delicious. Okay, guess what? This, to my tastes, is actually just done. Again, the refried beans aren't crazy. The reason we're doing it this far in advance is because we need it to cool down before it goes into the filling. Okay. We're gonna char it in the oven. And now, you can break this up with your preferred tool of choice. I think personally, a potato masher is pretty ideal for the job. Now, I am looking for the potato masher. I don't exactly know. Aha, I found it. So this is a Soviet Union era potato masher. It's from the USSR. Probably has red lead paint on it. Lead, my favorite. So get in there and smush up those beans. And listen, there is no right or wrong way to do this. Some people, they like the refried beans to basically be a puree. Okay? Some people, they like it really nice and chunky. Me personally, I'm a little bit more on the smoother side of things. So I'm just gonna go in there and we're gonna work it up. We're gonna work it. And don't forget about the jalapenos and the onions that are currently in your broiler. We're gonna char them and we're gonna blend it all down. Okay. Get all this going, my friends. Get all of this going. And get this to the texture and the consistency that you want. Oh, I just have to have a taste. Doug needs a little treat. Guys, I love refried beans. I love refried beans so much. It's just the best. I love them. I love them to death. These are so flavorful. The beans that I made on Wednesday, everybody, if you haven't watched that stream, you're making a huge mistake. They were actually just incredible. Incredibly flavorful, so simple and easy, done in a pressure cooker, but still filled with chorizo, filled with the sazon, right? It has like the taste of the annatto seeds. We're just not overcomplicating it. We're keeping things really, really simple here. Oh, look at these refried beans. Look at these refried beans. You think I'm joking? You think I'm messing around with these refried beans? I know it doesn't look that impressive, but these things are so flavorful. They're so creamy. They're so delicious, and they're gonna make the perfect filling for these quesadillas today. Okay? Really get it in there, really mash it up to your heart's content. Once again, this is up to you and your own textural preferences. I like mine nice and smooth. Okay, that actually might just be good for me. Let's mix this up again. See what the texture is actually like. To me, that's perfect. To me, this is what refried beans should really look like. Maybe a little smoother, but... Oh, my friends, let me tell you. Salty, meaty, because of the bouillon and the chorizo from before. Right? The taste of those fresh spices that we added today, really, really coming through. Okay, I need to stop. I'm going to end up eating the whole thing if I continue at this pace. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get these on over to the dishwasher because you have to clean as you go. You're cooking at home after all. And the beans, they do tend to dry up in a way that is difficult to wash. So just make sure you're rinsing it off now if you need to clean anything. Right? The easiest time to clean off like dried beans is now. Okay, and now my friends, let's go ahead and go back into the oven and check on how our beautiful vegetables are doing. So let's take a look. You can see that they've begun to char. I mean it when I say I want to blacken the outside of these. I want to get them really, really charred. And then we're going to cook them down, get them softened, and it's going to be awesome. I want to char the outside of it just to get a little bit of that smoky flavor inside of everything. So, everybody, recap. We've already finished one of the components, and it's cooling down now. We finished up the refried beans. Now we have to start building the jalapeno crema itself and all the components that will actually go into it. So here's what we need. We need a little bit of lime juice. We're going to need the crema. I have some crema mexicana that I'll be using, but you can just use regular sour cream. We're gonna have some fresh cilantro as well. I'm not gonna have any garlic in it. So it's just gonna be lime juice, cilantro, crema, jalapeno, and the onion. The jalapeno and the onion, those do really need to soften up. They need to cook down at least a tiny bit, okay? And the cooking liquid is gonna be very nice to really thin this out to get us the texture that we really want out of everything. So first things first, I have to figure out the vessel in which I'll actually be cooking things down in. My favorite little saucepan isn't actually clean at the moment. Oh no, this sucks. All of my pots are actually dirty before the stream. I didn't do the dishes nearly as much as I should have before this. I'm terrible. I apologize sincerely. There is no coming back for somebody like me, is there? Okay, I just need a vessel. I just basically need anything that I can boil something in. So I'm gonna have a pot that's way too big for the amount of jalapenos that we'll be using, but it's okay. It's okay. For today, it's fine. So I'm just getting that pot set up now so I don't have to worry about it later on. Just enough that things can boil in it because we want the jalapeno and the onion to really, really soften up. I'm gonna take another look at everything. Ooh, it's getting there. Everything is turning up nicely. Excellent. And then I need the container that I'll be blending things in, okay? So I just wanna get this stuff done and out of the way so I don't have to think about it later on. Okay. Get my beans out of here. I just splashed some beans onto my nice shirt. Luckily it's a black shirt, so it's okay. Okay, and let's head to the cutting board. So, all we really need to do, when you just chop up some cilantro, we don't have to get it to be in too fine of pieces because the blender is going to take care of most of it. And I already have some cilantro. Everybody, this is how I always store my fresh herbs. In a container, in a little Tupperware, with some paper towels to control the humidity of it all. Okay? And I'm gonna have about this much cilantro in total going inside. This I'm gonna throw back into the fridge. We're still gonna have some going into the salad. We're gonna have some cilantro going into the filling because this is, of course, Mexican or at least Tex-Mex, right? So there's gonna be cilantro all over the place. Okay, my friends. In the meantime, I'd love to show off. This is what the charred jalapenos looks like. The onions you don't have to char nearly as much, but you can see how much that skin is blackened. Okay, and a little bit on the onions, and that's okay. All we're gonna do now is I'm just gonna throw this into the water and I'm going to cook it down, right? And this is just to soften everything up. This is so that when we blend it, it blends up nice and smooth and easy. And it's gonna take about 10, 15 minutes or so, 5 minutes, depends on the size of your vegetables, ultimately. Everybody following so far? You know what I wanna hear? I wanna hear yes, chef, please, and thank you. At one point or another, a few months from now, when I ask you guys a question, I'm not gonna have to ask you all to say yes, chef. You guys are just gonna start doing it. Okay, the hot chichu I'm just gonna throw back into the oven to let it naturally and easily cool down. Yes, chef, thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Perfect. Okay, my friends. So once again, I'm working with cilantro. I don't love the big stems. I don't love the way the big stems blend up. We don't have to get too crazy about this. We're just getting rid of some of the leaves. And always, always my waste bowl is next to me. So I can just toss things aside. And if you see anything that's of course like a not so pretty looking piece, get rid of it. Okay. That's good. Just getting rid of the major stems. Something like that, my friends. Okay. These are all very minor, very thin stems now. There's the last kind of thick one left over. Okay, and all the cilantro, all we're going to do, we're just gonna cut it a couple of times. The idea isn't for us to really process this right now. The blender is gonna do most of that work. I just wanna help it out right now. Right, just get some of it done ahead of time. In fact, I'm only gonna need, I'm looking at, you know what? I'm looking at it, I think we only need half of this cilantro at the moment. So we might just set some aside. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. And again, this isn't like a super concrete recipe or anything. I just wanted a very fresh tasting cream with sour cream with lime juice with cilantro in it. I just don't want it to be too cilantro-y. Okay, I'm just setting some stuff aside, my friends. Boom. And now we gotta juice up some limes. Okay. We got one lime. It depends how juicy it is. We might even only need to use half a lime. Lime, take it, cut it in half. Does this have any seeds? Nope, perfect. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a glove. Even if you don't have any eczema, you're gonna take a glove and you're gonna do this. Because limes are so acidic, they're so not great for your hands. Unless you have a lemon or a citrus juice or something, use that if that's available to you. Ugh, my glove won't go on. Help! Save me. Okay, sweet. And currently at the moment, if we go on over to the stove and take a look, in a comically sized pot, we have the jalapeno and the onion cooking. And we just want it soft enough that it blends nice and smooth. Okay, back to this. You don't have to look at that. We're just gonna take these limes, which are hopefully juicier today. Yeah. Last time we had not so juicy limes. Get in there, squeeze out that juice. We're gonna use one whole lime for this today. And then we're gonna get a stick blender ready. Not the juiciest lime in the world, but it gets the job done, I suppose. Come on, get in there. My hands are so weak. My grip strength is not what it used to be. Come on, buddy, get in there. I love lime juice, but man, I need to get a citrus juicer. Guys, can one of you yell at me enough and just make me get a citrus juice, like a handheld one at some point? Good, Jack. You should stop yourself. Okay. Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna do just that. Okay, excellent. And I'm gonna see if I can do this in a stick blender. Worst case, we'll have to transfer this to real, like, proper blender or so. Also, welcome on in, actual garbage. Welcome in. This is fine. We just need a little bit. Remember, the crema mexicana is gonna have some natural acidity as well. Okay, so we're just softening up the jalapenos, softening up the onions as well at the moment. We're gonna add half of that portioned out cilantro. It's all gonna get blended at the same time. We want it to all blend into a really nice puree. Okay. And I guess the only other component that we really have to worry about is going to be a little bit of salt and the crema mexicana. So, unfortunately, this crema mexicana that I have, it actually isn't the best. It has like all sorts of other ingredients added to it. Like, it has a little bit of gelatin and a little bit of modified cornstarch in it, which is like really weird. Like, I don't know why it would have that, question mark. But I didn't make it. A little gelatinous, it's a little bouncy in its texture, but it'll make do. We'll make it happen. We'll make it work, my friends. So, how much do you need? I don't know. I'm just taking it, I'm mixing it up. Good, just to break it up a little bit, break up its structure. We're going to take a couple of big dollops. Right, I think that should do just fine. Excellent, and we might just even want some later on, but I think this is, we need one more dollop of sour cream for that amount of jalapenos. And again, there is no strong recipe to this, okay? This is just me showing you how I would do this. I've never really made a jalapeno cream either, right? What this basically is a jalapeno salsa that we're adding sour cream to, right, effectively. It's just the same shit. Okay, and I guess the only thing I'm waiting on now is I'm currently waiting on the doneness of the jalapeno and the onion. We don't need it to like fall apart or anything, we just want it soft enough that it can blend. Okay, I'm gonna get the blender set up. I'm gonna use a stick blender for this today. Because my other blender kinda sucks. I need a new one so badly. Save me, Vitamix. Save me. Guys, get yourself a stick blender. Listen, if it doesn't work with a stick blender, then we'll do like a real proper blender. Would I make yogurt if I knew how to do it, chef? Ask Jack. And the answer is probably not, because I don't eat enough yogurt in my routine to make it worthwhile. I don't eat like that much dairy, you know? So the kind of food that I make at home is really just the things that I eat at home. If it's no recipe, just bounce a cream and a jalapeno to your own spice tolerance. Absolutely, Galleta. You can do whatever you want here. I wanted mine really spicy because none of my other ingredients are too spicy. I want a really spicy jalapeno cream to dip things into. Okay. So at the moment, I do believe that this stuff is now fully softened, but I can justify taking it out of the pot. Right? This is softened enough now that I can just go ahead, grab some tongs, fish it out, and throw it into my cup. Welcome on in, Kazi. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. Right? Just enough. And again, it's charred, so it's really nice and smoky. Get the onions in there. It's going to help balance everything, add a little bit of sweetness to it. And we're going to add a little bit of water as needed to thin things out because we want this to be a dippable cream consistency. I have a feeling that this is currently going to be too thick and chunky. So this cooking liquid doesn't have that much flavor in it, but it's better than just using plain water. So I'm gonna have this on hand just in case we need it. Okay, next, let's get my station set up for the actual blending process. Ooh, I forgot that that is hot. Oh no. Let's get a sheet tray. My oven is still hot. Just so I can put a plate on it. Like this. Oh, the plate doesn't fit. Is life worth living? Right now, that question is becoming more and more ambiguous. Let's get this little plate. I'm doing it in this way just so I can show you all the blending process itself. And that's gonna keep it nice and cool. Plastic got a little bit wet at the bottom. And now we're going to just get a stick blender inside and get this into, hopefully, what I want is like a perfect green. I want something very, very beautiful. And if it's chunky, then so be it. But I want, hopefully, by blending it while it's hot, we'll get like that perfect smooth consistency that I'm looking for. We might need to also add some oil. People do that sometimes. Okay. Get it all in there, my friends. That is thick. That is definitely too thick. But maybe it'll just thin out. Blend up our jalapeno cream. Got all the big chunks out now. And now we just leave it to go. Any questions? Anything that any of you want to say to me? Oh yeah. Oh, it's going. Oh, it's getting nice and green. It's getting nice and smooth. It's looking really, really delicious right now. Also, by the way, as a little thing, you're probably not blending things long enough. Also, welcome on in. I can't see your tag. Welcome in. Happy holidays. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. We're making the jalapeno crema at the moment. Oh, yeah. Okay, that is now starting to take on a very pretty green color. We're not able to get the cilantro nearly as fine as I would have liked, but the texture is looking pretty good. So just keep this going, whip it up until you are content with what you have. Okay. We're almost done, my friends. What's my favorite streamer? Ask Dolingo as my family. I don't really watch a lot of streamers. So I'm not into streamers like that. So I don't know. Oh yeah, my friends, we're getting there. That is a very, very beautiful cream. I'm gonna go ahead and taste that now. That is spicy. That's a really, really spicy cream. But, oh, that is lovely. Genuinely, really, really fresh. Very, very tasty. Okay. Nice and acidic from the lime juice. The only thing we're going to do, my friends, we're going to add a little splash of salt, because remember, there was no salt in any of these components. Little pinch. It doesn't have to be too salty. Remember, the rest of the ingredients will also be salty. This is just so that the whole thing's a little bit more balanced. Blend it in. Let's give that another taste. Perfect. Delicious. Okay, my friends, let's go ahead and look at the jalapeno crema. So we'll do a little recap in a second. Are we gonna pair this dish with some horchata or Jamaica? Or horchata and Jamaica? God, I love horchata and I love Jamaica. I keep saying horchata. Horchata. I love horchata and I love Jamaica. The only issue is I don't drink sweets. I don't drink anything sweet. I don't drink any soda, none of that. So I used to love horchata, and I haven't had a really good Jamaica in quite a while myself. Also, so many really nice Jamaica cocktails. Ugh, man, I miss it now. Look what you've done to me. Yes, we had 2 whole jalapenos. Sorry about that. I know I didn't answer that question. Take a look, my friends. This is the jalapeno cream. And this is basically going to be the dip, okay, for everything. For the quesadillas, that is. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this into the sink right now so it doesn't dry out or anything. I'm gonna throw my blender away, well not away, just setting it aside because we don't need it anymore. We don't have any other components to blend. Okay, my friends, let's give this one more taste, yeah? This is the jalapeno crema. Look at it, really, it's not like totally smooth. If you wanted to get it really smooth, you need like a much better blender than what I have. Or you can also strain it out after. It's like this very nice, like light lime green. Delicious. This is going to make an excellent dip for the quesadillas. I'm gonna chill this down. I don't want hot cream. That is now going into the fridge. Beautiful. Okay. My friends, everything is moving along exactly the way that it should be at the moment. Let's have a little recap session. Let's have a little recap. Let's talk about everything that's just happened. That's right. I love Carne Asada. My friends, we have accomplished a lot of the components of today. So we made the refried beans, which are beautiful and they're currently cooling off so that we can mix them in nicely. We have the Carne Asada already cooked. We have the crema that we just made, the jalapeno lime crema. Currently, I have my cabbage for the cabbage salad sitting in the salt, and we're going to go ahead and take another look at that just to see how it's going, to see if it needs anything else at the moment. But there isn't that much to actually do today. This is a fairly chill stream, all things considered. The last stuff that we really have to do is going to be really just throwing things together. So, Ducky, beautiful question. You've just asked me, how many does this recipe feed? Guess what? Guess what? I'm gonna give you the most non-answer imaginable. This isn't a recipe. Everything that I am showing you here is not a recipe. The whole point of this is not to show you a recipe. I'm showing you home cooking techniques. As for how many quesadillas will I make, well, it'll depend on how much carne asada I have. The cream I'll be able to use for something else later on. This is not a recipe. I don't know the measurements. I don't know the proportions. All I know is I have a certain amount of refried beans. I have a certain amount of steak. I'm going to use up what I have, probably make 2 to 3 quesadillas out of it. But this is not a recipe. This is not a defined recipe. I'm just adapting to what I have and trying to make the most out of it. So basically, it was like last night, okay, these are the components I have. I have the cooked carne asada. I have the beans. What do? I wanted refried beans. I wanted a quesadilla. I bought some tortillas. I don't know how many this will feed. I just do not. So I'm sorry to give you such a non-answer, but that is just not the way that I really think about these kinds of things. Exactly. Okay, let's look at the salad again. So remember, I wanted a very, very fresh, crunchy red cabbage salad, a red cabbage slaw. Oh, Ducky, you need to stop apologizing to me. Ducky, I never want to hear you apologize again unless you've done something wrong. Well, you've asked me a very good question. My friends, look at all the liquid. Look at all that liquid, huh? You see that? That would have otherwise ended up in the salad. And now, if we taste the cabbage, not over salted. Before it was. Now we just got to dump this liquid out. That's the cabbage liquid. We have no desire for it, my friends. We don't want it. We don't want it. Okay? So, all we're going to do is this. Really simple. We're just going to take a handful and squeeze it out one by one. But first, I mean, there's no great way to do this. You can just do this over a big colander. Yeah, well, it's cabbage liquid. Look at that. All that come out. All that red cabbage water. Purpley. Beautiful, isn't it? People make like dyed eggs with this stuff. Okay. I wanna really press this. I really want to press this and get as much out. But we don't have to get too crazy with it. We just need to get the majority of it out. So all I'm gonna do is now just mix it around. See if I can press this again. See, we have a little bit more water coming out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just all of that liquid would have diluted the dressing. This isn't the wettest cabbage I've ever seen. It just really depends cabbage to cabbage. Okay, you can do this over a strainer. I don't mind that I'm losing a few shreds of cabbage. Look at that. all of that purple water. Just gone. You don't want the stuff, my friends. It just dilutes your dressings. Ah, look at this. Look at this beautiful cabbage, huh? So pretty. Okay, this for me is fine. If you really want to get crazy about this, you can squeeze it like this and do all of that. I don't really care enough to do that. Okay. Let's have a little taste. Love cabbage. Okay. So, we have to build the rest of the salad in this bowl. We have to think about what's actually going to go inside of it. I want cilantro and I want onions. Really simple stuff. We're not getting too crazy with it. We're going to do red onions. We're going to do about half a red onion. Okay? We cut the head off. You know, I picked the red onion because it looks pretty. I will not need this red onion for anything else. Only half. You don't got to get too crazy with it. With the red onions, they can be quite pungent, especially when raw. You can soak this in your lime juice if you want. I'm not doing anything too complicated with the salad. I just wanted a really, really nice, refreshing salad. Okay. Let's get rid of all of this. Let's clean up my station a tiny bit. Right? Because we don't want any of this dirt, onion skin to end up in our salad. We're going to cut not the root off, but just the dirty part of the root. So the root is still staying fairly intact. Okay? All we're going to do, my friends, I'm going to just cut this in half like this. Okay? And then very nice thin slices like this. Use the full length of the knife. We're not chopping it. We're just slicing up the onion for the salad. Think about the size of the pieces that you want. I wanted very thin strips of onions. And we're just going to mix this all through. And it's already seasoned with as much salt as it needs. It does not need any more salt. It's going to need some black pepper. We're going to do a little bit of oregano in there. We're going to throw the cilantro and the lime juice, a little bit of oil, and then we're going to throw it into the fridge for it to just chill out because it's a salad. We want a nice cold salad. Okay. That's 1/4 of the onion, excuse me. Do we salt the onions? No, Jack, you do not have to. You can if you would like to get rid of some of the harshness and the pungency. You can like soak it in some like cold salty water or something. You don't have to do anything crazy to these onions today, okay? We're keeping it really simple. Same exact idea though. Slice this up nice and thin. We're just pulling the knife. We're not doing anything crazy. We're not chopping, we're slicing. Oop, my knife slipped a few times. You can dice it if you want, but mostly all I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to emulate the texture of the cabbage. Right, I'm trying to get a very similar length of slice. Because it just looks pretty, and it's nice to eat that way. If you have like unevenly diced things in something like a salad, it's going to be very difficult to get a very proportionate amount in your mouthful. So in this case, the texture of it does matter. So that's a little thick, but it's okay. Nothing wrong when she's a little sorry. I'm not finishing that train of thought. And again, you don't have to necessarily use red onion. It might seem a little bit obvious to some of you, but you don't have to just use red onion. You can actually just use whatever onion you have laying around. Sweet onions are going to be sweeter. Red onions are going to be a little bit more pungent. Spanish onions are going to be super pungent. You just use what you have laying around, my friends, okay? Don't go out of your way to go buy a red onion just for the salad. I had a red onion in my fridge already. And if you don't have, let's say, red cabbage available to you, you can use whatever kind of cabbage you want. You can make this fucking salad with kale or something, okay? You have to understand that there's components that are interchangeable. I'm making it like this because it looks very pretty. And the red cabbage was very nice and cheap at the store today, right? All right, we have all this cilantro. I'm gonna just slice this up really, really thin. Is all we're gonna do here. Take it, bunch it up, okay? We're gonna just bunch all this cilantro up, my friends. And you're going to go thin thin, thin, thin. And you're not chopping these. You're not trying to destroy these herbs by chopping them and cleaving them like an axe. You want to slice. You want to use the full length of your knife. Okay? We're going to have such a beautiful salad, my friends. Okay, take it. We're going to give the whole thing another quarter turn. We're going to slice this all up again. This is a pretty big stem that I have no desire for. In the salad. Go as big or small as pieces as you want. I want the cilantro to be fairly evenly distributed. I don't want to really bite into a whole leaf of cilantro. I just want this to nicely scatter the salad. But we're still preserving its texture. We're not smashing it into oblivion. Okay. Absolutely, Duolingo. Oh, Duolingo is such a good question. You've asked me a beautiful question just now. Does that also apply if I have a green onion? Don't I have to go buy a yellow or something? For this salad, you can 100% use a green onion. In fact, I have some green onions as well. Let's use some green onion. You've just inspired me. You can 100% use a green onion. You don't have to use any red onion at all. I like mixing alliums, right? Because you get some different textures. Now, is this going to taste exactly like a red onion? No, but it's going to taste different is what it's going to taste. Okay? So let's go ahead and grab some. We're going to get all these greens into the salad, just so it has like a little bit more alliuminess. Thank you for the inspiration. And the green ones are really nice and pretty, right? So just take it, snip off the greens. You've inspired me. Everybody say, good job, Duolingo has my family. And I want you to say the full name, the full tag, when you do that. Thank them for the contribution to the stream and to society. I forgot I had these scallions. I want to put them in the salad. I just totally forgot about them. Okay, scallions. Look at that. Everybody in chat's just going at it now. Perfect. Okay, my friends, all we're going to do, we're going to slice these up nice and thin. Salad size slices. Go through, bunch them up, slice with your knife. Going all the way through, my friends. And now we'll have this beautiful pile of scallions, huh? Are green onions and chives the same thing, asks Trugu, and the answer is no, they're not. Chives are a lot more pungent than green onions. And they're a lot more bitter too, but they really, really smell like chives. Like they're very alliumy. So the answer is no. You can't eat the same amount of green onion that you can chives because chives are that much more concentrated. Very good question. And also chives are more expensive too because they're sold as herbs. Right. Okay. Look at this, my friends. This is the start of a beautiful salad, huh? We got the cilantro, we have the scallions, we have the onions, we have the cabbage. And now I guess the last step is going to be squeezing in some of those limes. But first, actually, the lime zest. I completely forgot. Gasp. The tragedy of Daramgar. How could it do such a thing? Okay. I forgot my zester in my knife bag. Come on, buddy. Out you go. Okay. There it is. Aha. So, zester. We're going to grab a lime. The aroma of the lime is in its skin. You want to make sure that this was a washed lime. I did wash it beforehand. Okay? In fact, we can do this directly over the salad bowl itself. Right? Get a nice comfortable edge somewhere. Figure out where you can just position it like this. Or just hold it up yourself. And you're not going to go into the white of the lime because that's where it starts to get bitter. But you're just trying to shave off the green of the lime, the zest of it. Okay? You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to get all of it out. You just want enough that it really perfumes and makes the salad. Too much of it can get quite bitter, it can get quite overwhelming. But basically the juice is where the acidity is and the skin is where all of the aroma is. Okay? Having a nice sharp microplane does this. Okay. Tap it all out. Look at all that lime zest, huh? We can probably do the second lime worth of zest as well. And of course do this before you juice it, right? Because it's intact at this stage. Makes it easy to do this. I've also seen some people, they zest it by like rotating the zester, and they just do it like this, which you can, and this gives you like a lot of control, right? So I guess I would also just do this. Yeah, look at that. And it really shows you how much you've gathered and collected. One of my favorite things to do is make chocolate orange cookies for other people. I don't normally make cookies for myself, but I just zest up the oranges and it smells lovely and it's amazing, and I make a syrup out of the zest. This is the best cooking stream right now, highest quality on Twitch. The words to my heart. That's what I want to hear. That's what I'm trying to do. My secret mission. So thank you. Okay, look at all that lime zest. Look at all that lime zest. I hope both in quality and in content alike. Okay. This I'm going to go ahead and set aside behind me. We no longer need that. Welcome on in, Blue Streak Sonic. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. Okay, and now, my friends, once again, we are gloving up to go ahead and juice up these limes. These are some big boy limes. Let's see if there's any juice here today. Will they stand the test? Ha! Oh yeah, that's one juicy lime. That is one juicy lime. We want a really nice, fresh, delicious salad to go with the quesadillas, okay? Because I didn't want to just eat straight meat and cheese and beans and carbs. And then we're going to have that delicious crema to go alongside everything as well. We're juicing that lime. We're juicing it. We're getting it done. Oh yeah. Get it all out there. Ugh. Yeah, that one didn't disappoint anybody. All right, next one. Ooh. Oh, that's a hard lime. We like it when they're thick and juicy. That's right. Well, actually, maybe not thick, because then my hands can't get a good grip on the lime. Don't take that out of context. In fact, we might only need the one's lime's worth of juice. And I'm even thinking I don't even want any oil in the salad. I want pure, like, acidity and freshness. I don't want like a greasy salad, I think. And again, you can add olive oil to this if you want. If you want some oil in your salad, by all means go for it. In this case, I'm thinking it'd be very nice to have like that very fresh, very fresh, delicious salad, right? Just like a you know, a palate cleanser almost in between bites of quesadilla. Yeah, that might just be plenty of lime. I mean, I love oily salads. I do. I just don't think in this case, for what I want it to do for me, I don't think I need any oil in this. Okay, and now, while my hand is still wet, remember the cabbage is fully salted. We're just going to pick it up and we're going to mix it all the way through, my friends. Look how beautiful the salad is, huh? We got the onions, the lime zest, the scallions, the cilantro, the red onions. Beautiful. The cabbage. Look how beautiful the salad is. Break up those onions, and remember, the longer you let the salad sit, especially with the lime juice, the onions are going to lose more and more of their potency. Look at this. Look at the salad. You think I'm messing around here? I'm not messing around. Guys, are we messing around? My little sous champs, my little sous chefs. Are we messing around on the stream? Yes, chef? Duolingo. Yes, chef? You just... Oh, I'm putting you on blast. Oh no. Oh no, Duolingo has my family. You just said yes, chef, to us messing around? It's over. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. Tetra, we're just messing around? Okay, good. I hope that's all that this is. All right. I don't want to see that happen again. We're not messing around here. We're not messing around. Can't believe this. But maybe? No. What is this defiance? Oh, this is horrible. My Twitch chat is going against me. This is terrible. Okay, it's fine. I'm not upset about it. Look at this salad. Look at this beautiful salad. Huh? Excellent. Oh, all those red onions in there. We're just making sure it's all fully incorporated now. Let's have a little taste of everything. That's enough acidity. Does not need that second lime. That is exactly what I want out of the salad, you know that? I've never played Soul Calibur Dupe. My friends, that is light, that is acidic, that is crunchy, that's a little bit salty. And you're getting like those red onions, you're getting the scallions in there, you're getting the cilantro. And now we're just gonna get all of those flavors to sit a little bit. I'm gonna throw this into the fridge now. Actually, first we'll do a little recap. Okay. Everybody, recap time. So, we've accomplished quite a few tasks. First of all, the salad is totally done for today. This is today's salad. Then, the jalapeno crema is also currently chilling out in the fridge. Look at this color. Look at this color, huh? Really, really pretty. It has the cilantro, it has the jalapenos, it has some onion in it. Lime juice. Okay, it's really nice and spicy. Oh, and very aromatic. We've also finished up the refried beans. I know it doesn't look too appealing at the moment, but it's cooled down now, and that will allow us to mix in the fillings. Amazing. Those refried beans are so special. We fried onions for it. We added some toasted spices in. Okay? And now the last step is we have to build the filling for the quesadillas, my friends. We've gotten 2 out of 3 of the components done. We did the cream, and now it's time for us to build the filling. So, we have to shred some cheese. Now, everybody, I want y'all to forgive me here. What I have here is not an authentic Mexican cheese. It's not. It's not. It's not even a pepper jack. It's not even a cheddar. You know what I have? You know what I had in my fridge? White American cheese. None of this today was traditional. The jalapeno cream, the filling for it. None of this is particularly traditional. We have some white American cheese. Why? Because I had this, and it's gonna melt nice. It's gonna melt nice. It's gonna melt very, very nice. It's gonna be really, really delicious. I had this in my fridge. I didn't want to go out and buy more cheese. I wanted to save a little bit of money. All right? Because that's what home cooking is about. It's about taking what you have and repurposing it into something special. And I promise you, this American cheese is going to really, really, truly become something special. So, it's gonna go into this bowl. Let's get my cheese grater out. Okay? Guys, American cheese is so hated on. And I know. I love Oaxaca cheese. I love queso Oaxaqueño. I do. I really do. I have Oaxaca cheese available to me. But guess what? I had this at home. What else was I going to do with this? Point is, these quesadillas were already not particularly authentic. American cheese is going to melt up exceptionally well. Oaxacan cheese is actually not all that different from mozzarella either. I love Oaxacan cheese. I love the way that it melts. I love the way that American cheese melts. I love how nice and smooth it is, yeah? So, that's what we're going to do today, my friends. Here's what I do. Here's what I do. I lay it down nice and flat, and then we just go. And we go at it, and we go at it, until we get all of this. We're going to use up all this cheese today. Let's vote if we forgive Chef. Jack, you all already forgive me, don't you? I want to hear a resounding yes, Chef, if you forgive me. In fact, I've done no wrong. I've done nothing wrong. Chef has to say sorry. Ducky, I'm not saying sorry to anybody. Oh, I'm already not doing an authentic dish. Look at that. You see? Everybody's forgiven me. Everybody loves me. Nothing wrong with American cheese. That's right. It's basically Monterey and cheddar. Well, in this case, it's mostly Monterey. You want your money back? Infinite, did you spend any money on the stream? Okay. Again, my friends, American cheese, it just melts up super, super well. Okay? Tastes like American. The Mission tortillas, that's actually the worst offense. You're absolutely right about that one, Zio. I am very, very upset about my use of Mission tortillas. If you can, please go to a Mexican market near you. I went to mine. They didn't have any flour tortillas at mine. They've only had corn tortillas. The state of tortillas in the United States is actually like pretty tragic, or especially like on the East Coast. It's pretty horrible. Okay, my friends, I like to lay it out flat like this because that way I can easily dump things into the bowl without needing to scrape anything up. It makes my life a lot easier to do it this way. That's true, corn tortillas would be cool, but if I was doing corn tortillas, I would make my own. I don't love store-bought corn tortillas either. They're pretty bad. But I could always just buy some masa from like a local place too. Okay, really, really push it in. I wonder what the UK equivalent of American cheese is. Again, American cheese, all that it really is just emulsified two different kinds of cheeses. Has some sodium citrate, some hexaphosphate, I believe, some starches. But really, all it does is it just melts up smooth. So any other cheeses that you have that melt that smooth, it's a cheese blend is what it is. Right? American cheese is just a blended cheese that is held together. It's impossible to get good tortillas here in Canada. Tetra, learn to make your own. That's all I gotta say to you. Because, man, let me tell you, it's pretty easy. Actually, once I've gone to the habit of it, I mean, it's effort. Everything is still gonna be effort. You can buy some, you know, even like Masteca, right? Oh, you said you make your own? My bad, I didn't read. Looks like really solid pizza cheese. Well, yes, this just looks like mozzarella. But this is white American cheese. But don't tell anybody. Also, Duolingo is my family. Thank you so much for the sub, even after your defiance today. Okay. What's up, Walla Mom? Welcome on in. Is this your first, Walla Man? Excuse me. Is this your first stream? Wait. What's happening in Discord? Whoa. What? Oh, shit. Hold on. Excuse me. I apologize. Give me a second, everybody. How do I stop this? Sorry, everybody, I just have a little thing going on at the moment. What do I do here? This is kind of important, I do apologize. Yeah, that would be very nice. That'd be very sweet of you, thank you. What is that? You know, I can just ban. Ah. Why is it not working? Okay. Everybody, I'm really sorry about this. I just have a bit of a situation. This sucks. I should really set this up for the future. Tetra. Okay. Tetra, I am on it now. Okay, Tetra, you should have the ability to do that now, I believe. Okay. I apologize about this. This is a little unexpected. Oh. Yeah, it's okay. Things are okay. Just stuff with the Discord server. We might need a second to be able to get things back together. Lovely. Okay, we're fine. Tetria, thank you very much. Okay, I apologize. It's never gonna happen again. Thank you very much, Tetria. We'll talk about this later. I really appreciate you. Okay, just had a little situation in the Discord server. It's okay. I'm really upset that other people had to see it. It's nothing I can't handle. I'm really upset that a lot of people just had to see that shit. Jack, thank you for the heads up. I think you're the first one to tell me. Everybody, are we all still here? Is everybody still watching? I really, really apologize for this. I really apologize for what just happened in Discord. Yes, Chef, great. I'm glad you're all still here with me. Thank you. I'm not going to elaborate on details or anything. That just definitely stressed me out. I got to set up some auto moderator stuff in the future to make sure that kind of stuff doesn't happen again. Right. It's okay. I just hope not a lot of people saw that. Everybody, hi, hello. We're back. Everything is okay. Let's have a little recap really quickly. We're working on the quesadillas. We've just finished grating up our cheese. Wait, did we just get a grade? Wait, am I silly? I'm so sorry, I didn't see that we got a grade. We just had some shit happen. I really, really apologize. Welcome in, everybody. So, we're almost done with the quesadillas. So we've already made the cabbage salad, we've already made the refried beans, we've already made the jalapeno crema, and now we're building the filling itself. So, all of this cheese, and now we might not necessarily use all of the refried beans that we have. I really personally like to assemble this stuff beforehand. Okay? I'm not the foot. These are the refried beans that we made. I know it doesn't look particularly appealing at the moment. Just bear with me. We're not going to use all of it. And now, my friends, this is the carne asada that I have left over. These are not the leftovers from the other day. We made the refried beans out of the leftovers. These were the leftover carne asada, though. Really delicious. Now we're just going to slice this up. I'm going to show you how to slice it. I don't actually have that much to slice. This might be only enough for like 1.5 quesadillas or something. Okay, this was the carne asada. Right, really, really tender, really delicious. And it's cooked until medium rare. So, we have to talk about this really quickly. When it comes to steaks in general, reheating it is almost never an option. You have to find a way to either A, eat it cold, or B, slice it thin and do something else with it. If you try to reheat a steak like this, you're going to get something that is innately really, really chewy and really, really unpleasant. A steak will never be as good as the day that you cooked it. It just will not, unless you sous vide it or something. But in this case, it can just be different. We can just turn it into something different. So this is a skirt steak. We have to pay attention to the grain of the meat. Look at the grain. It's all flowing this way. So here's what we do. We cut it parallel to the grain, okay? Nice and medium rare on the inside still. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut this perpendicular to the flow of the grain. Because think about it this way. Think about meat as a collection of muscle fibers. A lot of you may know this. In this case, in a skirt steak, it's a bunch of muscle fibers that are going like this. If we were to cut a piece like this and eat it, really delicious, but has a bit of a chew to it because we have these long, thick muscle fibers and fewer in count. If we were to cut it perpendicularly, let's say like this, a lot more tender, a lot easier to bite because you're getting a lot more shorter fibers. Okay? Think about it like the boom. Think about it like your boom, right? Like if you were to cut it parallel or perpendicular, you want a bunch of short fibers to get a very tender bite of steak. So here's what we do. We cut it on a bias. We're basically getting these big sheets of carne asada, like this, with a nice and sharp knife. Okay? And I need to stop myself from snacking on it too much. And now, here's what we do. We're going to then cut this. Remember, the muscle fibers are still going this way. We're going to cut this into strips. And then you can also then cube it if you want. But these strips are really, really tender. I want to be able to bite into the steak itself. I want to feel the carne asada. Right? I don't want little teeny tiny cubes. I want to feel these strips on the inside. Right? So we're not going to cut it any smaller than these pieces. And they're super tender. This is some of the best skirt steak I've ever made. This is some of the best carne asada I've ever made. Really, really delicious stuff. That's right, and you should be suspicious when it's cut up tiny. I want to feel the carne asada in the quesadilla. Right, it's in the name, a carne asada quesadilla. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing here. Cut it parallel to the grain. Let's move that aside. Guys, please yell at me if I keep snacking on these. We're cutting it perpendicular to the grain in these big sheets. And then we're cutting it up into super tender strips. How do you know when it's ready? Good question, Ducky. This is the one cut of meat that I don't use a thermometer on. The reason for this is because carne asada, or skirt steak rather, is so thin that you will only get inaccurate temperature readings. Wait, what? Oh, Jack just yelled at me to stop and I was like, what did I do? And then I realized, oh wait, I just asked people to do that. Okay. So, carne asada, skirt steak, I will never, never, never use a meat thermometer on. Never. It just wastes time. Carne asada just cooks very quickly. I'm looking at the way that the meat visually buckles, and I'm looking at the crust. Because the thing I care about more, in a way, than the actual doneness of carne asada, is having a really nice crispy crust. And of course, that crispy crust is gone because it cooled down, it was sitting in the fridge. But to me, it's a lot better. Then, and it's gonna be juicy no matter what. If you cook it hot and fast, I'm always shooting between like a medium rare to a medium on these. In fact, I like the inside almost like really nice and raw, not even just a medium rare. Look at these. Look at these beautiful. Excellent. Big old pile of carne asada. And now, last one, my friends. Take a look at the grain, see which way it's flowing. See which way the winds are blowing. Yeah, Chad is just currently shooting laser beams at me for eating more of the carne asada. Right, you see, nice and medium rare when it was cooked. Beautiful. And what do I marinate it with? Watch the stream on Wednesday. Watch the Wednesday stream. You can go to my YouTube VOD channel, or you can even watch it right here on Twitch. But I did some pasilla chilies. Well, not pasilla. I had some guajillo chilies. I had some ancho chilies. I had some cilantro. I had some lime juice. I had some cumin. I had some coriander. I had some olive oil and a little bit of soy sauce. Nice strips of the skirt steak here. Excellent. And there you go. We cut it perpendicularly like this, my friends. Really, really, really delicious this way. Huh? You're gonna get a very nice bite of carne asada. I don't want little tiny cubes. I want to be able to feel it, but this is still the optimal texture for a tender bite. Okie dokie. So, this is the rest of the filling, which I actually should have combined separately. So what I'm going to do is this. I don't think, actually wait, this is just enough steak for this amount of cheese. Was a YouTube channel, at @VODs on YouTube. We're gonna take all this steak, my friends. We're gonna dump it in there. I'm gonna grab a plate so I can put this on it. After, I'm going to just take a second after this to clean things up. This is gonna be the filling for the quesadillas. Okay? So we have the carne asada, the refried beans, and I like mixing it up beforehand, my friends. Mix it up beforehand. Because I want everything to evenly incorporate in the quesadilla itself. So this is a quesadilla filling. Okay? Not the most cheese forward. It's a very, very equal amount of every single one of these other components. The refried beans. Just dollar VODs. Ducky Strange, go to my Twitch's About section, or just scroll down. Oh, that's not a salad. This is just the mixed up beans and cheese and the steak. Okay? You don't want it to be too dense or anything, otherwise it won't melt properly. Daramgar or Daramgar. Daramgar. Whatever you want. It could be a salad. And guys, let me tell you, if I tried this right now, I think I might have added too many beans to this whole thing. And guys, I know it doesn't look like it's the best right now, right? But you taste this. Refried beans, cheese, and steak. What more could you ask for? Huh? It's perfect. Only thing I'm going to do still, I think I actually want to go back in there and add in some kind of freshness. Right. I want to go back in there and I want to add a nice little crunchy component. So I'm thinking we have some of the scallion whites. Let's get rid of these scallion whites that we have. Right, you remember these bad boys? Let's go ahead and get these in there. Quesadillas are the tortilla ones. So watch this. And we don't have a salsa verde. We have a jalapeno crema in the fridge at the moment because I really like having a sour cream thing to dip things into. So we'll do some scallions. Beautiful. Get these all in there. Okay, and now I'm trying to think, is there anything else that we could possibly want? I'm honestly thinking we can do some more cilantro. So let me have a second. I'm gonna put some things away really quickly. And we're going to throw some cilantro inside as well, because I think I want that freshness, right? I want to have a little bit of bite from the scallions. I want to have that meltiness from the cheese. And I want a little bit of those cilantro leaves for the freshness of it all. So, one second. I'm going to go ahead and grab some. Just throw it in my handy dandy little box. Right? I think I might have added too many beans to the whole thing, but that's okay. Life moves on. Ooh, so many. Okay. That should be plenty. And now, once again, I'm gonna just get rid of any of like the super big stems. You can leave the small ones. They're actually gonna add a very nice bite to the whole thing, the small ones. But the big ones can be a little too fibrous. Okay. Just going through it all. Excellent. Especially the dark green ones. The dark green ones tend to be a little bit more. Yes, and some people do, they taste soap when they eat cilantro. Again, guys, it's all over Mexican cuisine, right? Cilantro is basically everywhere. You don't have to. You can use probably culantro. I don't know if people with that soap gene will have that same effect with culantro. You can use whatever herb that you would like. You can disregard authenticity, but I guess the easiest replacement would be something like parsley, or just use more green onions or something, right? This is, in many ways, very Americanized Mexican food, what I'm doing right now. I'm giving things a lot of love. I'm giving things a lot of flavor still. But this is by no means what I'm doing today, very, very authentic. So, my friends, take it, bunch it up, and we're going to slice this nice and thin to put into the mixture. Oh, and Tetra, you should be. You absolutely should be. I went to Mexico City once when I was a lot younger. And yes, yeah, everybody, please say thank you to Tetra. Tetra, you were an absolute sweetheart today. Really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much, seriously. You really, really saved my ass. I wasn't able to figure shit out. Well, yeah, and really what matters is this is authentic to my kitchen and it is authentic to the things that I have. Right, so even though I'm using something like American cheese in this and I'm not using like Oaxacan cheese, it's still going to be really delicious and it's going to melt up really, really nicely, okay? And that's what matters most. Okay, that's cilantro. We want it big enough that we can really, really feel it, but not so big that we'll just crunch through it all. Clean up our cutting board, get everything else in there. And now we're gonna mix up the filling one last time. Let me clean up my steak. Just this once. Yeah, just this one time. Okay. we're just getting the station ready, my friends. We're getting it ready for the final stage, which is going to be making the quesadilla itself. Okay. So, my friends, in fact, we could probably even plate some things preemptively. How's that sound? We can even get started some of our plating. So this is what it's going to be like. Here's what it's going to be like. We're going to have a little bit of cabbage. We're going to have a little bit of the sauce that we're going to dip into. We want to be able to dip into the sauce, right? So we need a suitable vessel that will allow us to do so. Wish I do separate plates. I could have this here for the sauce, but I feel like that's just too big. Yeah, we're going to do 2 separate plates. One for the cabbage. I don't have a ramekin. I do have a ramekin. Oh, ducky. You're so right. I do have a ramekin. Aha. Thank you for the reminder that they even exist. I'm going to keep this bowl for the salad, though. Thank you for the reminder. Okay. Ah, you're so wise. Thank you so much. You saved my life just now. Okay. So here's the plating. Everybody, I want to talk to you about plating for a second. I'm a very big functionalist and I'm a very big minimalist above all else. What does this mean? Everything that is on a plate, to me, is meant to be eaten together. I will never do this restaurant bullshit of having a hot steak on the same plate as my salad. It makes no sense. I don't want my salad with my steak. It's gonna wilt it, it's gonna get warm, the salad dressing is gonna get all over the steak. The salad is going in a separate bowl because it's not meant to be eaten with the same thing here. The quesadilla and the sauce is gonna go into the same plate because it's meant to be eaten together. This isn't fancy plating, this is functionalism. This is us thinking about the purpose and the use of everything involved. I will never sacrifice something for its pure aesthetic value. Oh, it's so nice to have everything in one big plate. First things first, it has to make sense. So if the quesadilla is meant to be eaten with the sauce, it's going to go into the same thing. If the salad is meant to be eaten separately, it's going to go into a separate bowl. It's much more convenient and pleasant to eat that way. And then you can think about the visuals and the aesthetics of it all. So, I'm actually going to start plating some stuff up now. The salad has cooled down a little bit. And again, we still haven't cooked the quesadillas yet. I'm only going to make one off stream, and then I'm going to make some later for my mom when she's back. Right? Nice little portion of salad there. Perfect. Really nice and pretty. And again, you can garnish this with stuff if you want. It's not necessary. Right? I'm cooking for myself. I'm cooking at home. I'm still going to make things look nice for the camera, but I'm not going to go crazy about it. And now, my friends, take a look at this. This is a beautiful crema, right? And it's thickened up really nicely in the fridge. I'm just going to mix this through. And then I'm going to just pour some of this in. Perfect. Just like that. Ooh. You know what? I think I have a tortilla chip. I do have one tortilla chip. Well, not one. I have a bag of them. I'm just going to taste that with some of that right now. Just taste it all together. You ready for this? Simple. Really, really simple. Really comforting. Really delicious. It doesn't have to be crazy. We didn't do anything crazy to this crema. All we did, we had some crema mexicana, we had some cilantro, we had some lime juice, and it was really delicious. Okay, and then the tortillas, well, rather the quesadilla is gonna go here. Okay? So that's the way we planned all of this stuff out. That's the way we planned this out. Okay. I'm gonna set that behind me. And right now, we have to actually now construct the quesadilla. I'm only making one right now. I'm only making one. So everybody, number one rule. I don't like people that make quesadillas by stacking 2 tortillas together. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Why would you do that? It folds over so nicely. I'm an exclusive fold guy. I don't want to see that double tortilla shit. I don't want to see it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want any of it. You can do that in your own household if it's fine. I like folded. I like folded. It does not need it. I'd rather have 2 separate quesadillas to just eat them, rather than just like one doubled up and then you don't get as much filling inside. Ugh, you get all kinds of problems. So these are my tortillas. Again, are these the best tortillas in the world? No, not at all. These are not the best tortillas. These are shitty Mission tortillas. But we're gonna fry it and we're gonna get it really nice and crispy and delicious. Okay? It's gonna be wonderful. Promise. We can still make it really special. Now, let's head back on over to the filling that we have for it. Remember, this has the cilantro, this has the refried beans, this has the cheese, this has the carne asada from before. And now I'm also gonna get my pan onto the stove at the moment. Okay. And also, by the way, everybody, I need to talk to you about this really quickly. There's 2 styles that I would like to differentiate. These are 2 styles that I've noticed. I've noticed people that do the quesadillas completely without oil. They do it completely devoid of oil. I've seen people do the quesadillas in oil. The reality is, you're going to get 2 different textures that way, and you have to think about what you want. It's the same exact idea of like, if you can't imagine the difference, think about the difference between garlic bread versus toast. When you have toast that's not cooked with any fat, of course, and you just throw it into the toaster oven, it's kind of crunchy and hard and it's a little bit charred, but it's not like a tender crispiness. It's just slightly hard on the outside. But think of something like garlic bread that is like a profound, deep, almost like fluffy, puffy crispiness. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense to you guys, but the point is, you can do this in whichever way that you like. I want like that really special crispiness, so we're going to cook these quesadillas in oil. If you want just like that very like toasted texture, I guess, it's not going to brown as evenly, you can do it without oil. We're gonna do this with oil, okay. Is the traditional way with lard or other animal fat? I have no idea, Jack. I have no idea. And it is going to absorb some of the oil that you put in. You just have to make sure that your oil is hot enough, right? If you try to do this without enough oil, it's just going to soak up too much of it. If it's not hot enough, excuse me. So, let's go to my stove. This is a pan right here, okay? I'm glad that I can do that. It's very sweet of you. So, my friends, we want enough oil to coat the bottom. We want enough oil to coat the bottom of the pan, okay? The thing that we really don't, ooh, come on. There you go. The thing that we really don't want to happen is for us to get uneven browning. And the oil is functional. It helps to get into the crevices of the tortilla and make sure that we have even browning. So, to get even browning, you need enough oil to form an even coat on your pan. Right? You can see this is still like a little bit spotty. This amount of oil would be okay. But we can do a little bit more. Just a little bit more. It's going to fry in that oil, and that's going to help give it a very, very nice fried texture. Gasp! Did my camera just flicker? I didn't like that. Did you guys see that shit? I'm watching you, camera. Hope you don't do that again, buddy. Pal. Okay. So, has that been happening? So, my friends, scallions, the refried beans, the American cheese, and the carne asada. We're mixing it all together now. We're mixing in those herbs. This is all of the filling for today. And again, I think I might have added too much of the beans, but it's okay. Life moves on. Happens whenever I turn on the burner? Wait, what? There's just no way. Oh my God. Wait, that is so funny. Why is that? Why is my gas burner making my camera flicker? I do have a dummy battery. It is a dummy battery. It's the spark? What? Oh, this is fucking magic. That is crazy. Wait, am I not supposed to be doing that with the dummy battery? Is that like going to destroy the whole thing? That is so funny. Wait, I'm gonna have to probably do some research on this. It's okay? Okay. That is the craziest thing I have ever seen. That was crazy. That was insane. Okay, wow. I am in genuine disbelief right now. My friends, get a handful of the filling. It's now mixed through. Again, pre-mix it. No spiders today. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna spread this out nice and even. You're gonna do this ahead of time. Okay? You don't like to do this folding shit when it's already on the stove. And you don't want it to go all the way to the edges either, because you want those edges to get kind of sealed. Anyway, we're gonna press it. Wow, that is crazy. That is so cool. I wonder if I should just be using a lighter from now on to light that. Okay, let's get a little bit more. Right, think about how much filling you actually want in these. I want the nicely filled quesadilla. And again, this has the carne asada, my friends. This has the refried beans. This has the cilantro. This has the scallion. But you want to make sure that it's a nice flat layer. Okay? So I think that should be enough filling. I'm going to push it a little bit closer to the edges, actually. Wow, that is crazy. I have never seen this happen before. Okay. What do you think? I think that's close enough to the edges now. More cheese, please. Audio Murphy, we have no more cheese to work with. I would have liked some more cheese in these too. Okay, and now we're just sealing these up shut, right? Oh, you don't want to tear the tortilla, what I just did there. You should not have done that. If you did that when you were doing this, if you're following along with me for some reason, there'll be a problem. Seal those edges. You don't want the filling to pour out, right? So we're just really, really pressing down on these edges. It doesn't have to be too crazy, but it's just to keep the whole thing really, really stuck together, okay? That's one quesadilla. And now I think we can work on the other one simultaneously. Ooh, my pan got too hot. My oil got too hot in this process. Okay. I'm gonna have that cool back down for a second. I heated it up way too fast. Okay. And here's a cool thing, right? Now it's like this, you can just easily stack it over to see what's your like fill line, right? Grab a nice little handful. Once again, because we're gonna fry both of these simultaneously. Ooh, that's a lot. That might be a lot of filling. Although that could also just be pleasant. We'll see. We want to leave a little bit of space on the edges. I should have just heated up the oil after. My camera is going to flicker again. You know what? Let's just head back to this, so that when it inevitably flickers, it doesn't bother me anymore. Okay. We're almost done, my friends. We're just filling it up. We're getting it all in there. Getting it nice and even and almost to those edges. Okay? And now, let's take that glove off of mine. Now let's press the whole thing shut. Nice and easy. Not so much effort, right, guys? Press it. You can also warm these up beforehand if you feel like your tortillas aren't flexible enough. And we're just sort of flattening it to make sure that we have a nice, smooth layer when this goes down. Okay. The oil that we have is nice and hot. It is gently covering the surface of the pan. Okay, let's head to the stove, my friends. Look at that. And so, you don't need that oil to be like smoking hot or anything. But if it's too cold, I do want to emphasize this. If your oil is too cold, the tortilla risks soaking up that oil, okay? But if it's so hot, you're going to scorch the outside of it before the inside gets a chance to get cooked. So you hear that? Let's see if we can get a good sizzle. That's it. That's a very nice sizzle. It needs to be low enough and slow enough that the whole thing melts, but it needs to also be hot enough that it doesn't absorb. Excellent. That's what I'm talking about. And now we're just gently frying it on that side, and we're going to make sure that we're sometimes just moving these bad boys around. We're going to seal it up, and then we're going to flip it over once the bottom is browned. Everybody, tortillas can burn on you like nobody's business. Yeah, one of them is a little thicker than the other. That just so happens. I filled one a little too much, I didn't fill one enough. Such is life. And we're going to check on it occasionally. I'm just snacking on a filling. Really shouldn't be doing that. Okay, how's it doing? Looking good? Frying away? Let's give it a little look. Let's give it a little peek. See how it's doing on the bottom. Oh yeah, and you can already see the bottom of it is getting really nice and crispy. And guys, even if you don't smell it burning, I promise you, it can burn without you noticing. Okay, I'm gonna show you. I'll show you this right now. Look at this. Look at this. Guess what? This one's ready to be flipped. It just sneaks up on you. It actually just sneaks up on you. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Let's go ahead and get this other one. We're gonna get this one nicely flipped as well at the same time. Beautiful. That's the kind of a fry I'm looking for. And really quickly, before this also comes off, we're going to salt the outside. We're gonna salt the top of it. Guys, tortillas, they brown up a lot faster than you think. Okay? And the reason you don't want your filling to be too thick is because it's not going to allow the ingredients to melt in time. Right? I even think my flame might have been a little bit too hot. My flame might have been too high. Just filling some things into my dishwasher once again. And now I guess what I really did need to do was set up a plate with a paper towel on it. Because we're going to take these out, and because of the fact that we fried these in oil, they are going to be a little bit greasy on the bottom. Okay, that one can use a little bit of extra time on that one side, but these are getting really nice and crispy. Perfect. We'll give that another second. We're going to set up some paper towels, or you can just do like a sheet rack or something, but paper towels will be just fine. Did you, I seasoned the outside. Yes, I did. Because the outside of it can be quite bland. Okay, and now, guess what? We can pull these off. They've done their job. Pull them off and onto a paper towel. Pull it off and onto the paper towel, my friends. You don't want to get that bottom to be too dark, okay? This is done. And now we have these perfect quesadillas. Okay, hi, guess what? Everybody, we did it. We're gonna give it a second, just a little second. It's going to just cool down a little bit and make sure that the ingredients on the inside are fully heated through. We seasoned up the outside with the salt because when the oil is hot, the salt really does a good job of sticking to it. I stole that from J. Kenji Lopez Alt. So everybody, let's do a little recap. Remember all of the different things that we did. In fact, we'll just do the recap once I have everything plated together. Oh, look at these quesadillas. Really, really crunchy, really crispy, beautiful. So my friends, let's talk about every single component and why we did everything the way that we did. Cabbage salad. We salted it in advance to draw out the excess liquid. We added lime for acidity, cilantro and lime zest for the freshness, as well as some scallion, and then some onion for the crunch of it and to get some allium flavor inside. The crema, we blended up sour cream, charred jalapenos, we charred it for the smokiness, cilantro and lime juice. Because I love having sour cream with my quesadillas, and I wanted it to be really, really special. The quesadillas themselves, stuffed with carne asada that we made on Wednesday, that was made with guajillo chilies. It was made with ancho chilies. It was made with cilantro. It was made with lime juice. It was made with garlic. It was made with onion. It was made with coriander, cumin, and some oregano. The beans was made with bouillon. It was made with some sazon. We refried it with some more onions, with some more spices. We made it into like a beautiful refried beans. And then we added in some cheese. We added in some fresh scallions and some fresh cilantro. Look at this. Look at this, huh? Beautiful. And now we just want it to cool down enough that we can easily handle it. Let's get this together, and we're gonna slice it. Cabbage off this plate, has no place here. Now, you can do this on a cutting board. It's very bad form to do what I'm about to do right now. And now, some people, they cut theirs into quarters. Some people do it in thirds. I like doing quarters because it's a lot easier. You want a nice sharp knife. And then you can see the inside just breaks apart. And again, I didn't have that much cheese in my quesadillas, but these are really, really good. It's not gonna have like that cheese pull unless you have like a lot of cheese and you need like big strands of cheese to be able to achieve that, okay? And now if you try to slice these anymore, the filling is just going to kind of fall out a little bit. So I'm trying to even consider, is that worth doing at the moment? I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes it is. Okay. So here's the technique. You're gonna want to use like the tip of your knife, right? Something like this, because otherwise everything just kind of comes out like that. Okay. There we go, my friends. There they are. Beautiful. Ah. Okay, my friends. This is it. Let's organize this to make this at least look a little bit nicer. All right, let's not overcomplicate this. Where do I have space? Over there I do. Okay, my friends, look at this, beautiful, huh? These really, really delicious quesadillas, stuffed with refried beans, with carne asada, with some cheese. Not going to tell you which kind of cheese. Some spices, and also some cilantro and scallions. Into this jalapeno lime crema. And over here we have a beautiful little cabbage salad, which I'm going to grab a fork to eat. First, let's try the cabbage salad itself, the least interesting component. Fresh. Acidic, exactly what you want. This kind of salad. And now, let's have a quesadilla. And we're gonna dip it into the crema. Oh, fuck. Dude. You hear that kind of crunch? It's not hard and toasted. It was fried in the oil. Damn. That's a perfect quesadilla. That is so good. And then when you're like, oh man, that was like a lot of quesadilla. There was like beans and cheese and meat. You get a little salad. Outrageous. Okay, everybody. Final questions, final comments, final concerns. Anything else that you want to say to me at all? Please let me know now before we raid somebody. If anybody has any questions, this is a good time for me to answer them. We're going to go ahead and raid somebody. We're going to sign off in just a few moments. Everybody, the next stream is going to be this Sunday, 12 p.m. 12 p.m. Eastern Time, noon Eastern Time. Also, yes, Tetra, what is your question? What is your question, Tetra? Hit me. In fact, we should go and see what food and drink streamers are live. How about that? We'll raid somebody who's doing a thing. What Tetra said. Can you have a slice? You can absolutely have a slice. 100% have a slice. Everybody, thank you all so much for watching. Anybody else that wants to say anything else to me, now's your time to go ahead and do it. We're going to go ahead and raid some cooking streamer that I just found. Nicole Belafonte. I appreciate all of you being here. Ducky, can't say that at all. Sunday, this Sunday, Christmas Eve Sunday. Yes, you can see the food one more time. Take a look. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay. We don't have a raid call. We're just going to go ahead and raid Nicole Belafonte. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to see you next time. This Sunday, Christmas Eve, 12 p.m. at noon. Early stream, early. Wake up, get cozy. We're going to do something really, really fun, I'm sure. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Appreciate all of you. See you all next time. And until then, I hope you all have a lovely rest of your Friday. Yes, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Go to my Twitch schedule. Look at the offline screen. That'll tell you the holiday schedule. Goodbye.